home of hard truths and bold insights, Radio Generation.
Yes, indeed. A very good morning to you and welcome to the home of hard truths and bold insights. My name is Mungala Mbuvi. It is now 5 minutes past 6 o'clock. Wambaje, popote pale ulipo, umeamka vyema. Nashukuru kwa sababu personally that's where I am right now. Nimeamka vyema, niko salama, mzima wa afya. And there's nothing else that you can beat that rather on a Tuesday morning. It's a bit chilly. Nimeona ni kama kuna nyesha kidogo. I don't know about wherever you are, but when I was leaving my neck of the woods, it looked kawaida, but by the time I was getting to Ngong Road, mambo yakaanza kukaa kidogo, sijui ni yaite vipi, lakini yalikuwa nakaa ni kama kuna kinaitwaje kile city watu wanasemanga manyunyu, manyunyu, lakini natafuta ani idiomic expression. Kulikuwa kuna kani kama kuna si msako na si msuko, kulikuwanga na shamra za mvua. Kiswahili kidogo lazima kitukuzwe, itabidi tumengangana nacho until wakati ule tutakiweza kukifanya nini, kukipata na kukienzi vizuri. Lakini siti Wambaje, uko fiti?
Nashukuru niko mzima.
You're good?
Niko mzima kabisa bwana.
Yeah, I was just listening to some of the news that has been making headlines in the last couple of hours. And Ndindi Nyoro has gone to a party called People's Party of Kenya. Have you ever heard of it?
Yes.
People's Party of Kenya, PPK.
Yes, I have.
Hiyo ni gani na ni nani? Who's the party leader?
I'm not certain, but I've heard of it.
Yeah. I'm going to be reading up on it today because I've had it for the first time. Hii sijaisikia tena maishani mwangu tangu nizaliwe.
People's Party of Kenya.
Na kama nimeisikia, maybe I assumed it. But anyway, we'll be talking about that and much more. Being the 18th day of August 2026, let me tell you what is significant about this day. First of all, United Nations haven't designated anything today, so we're going to skip that. But I think they have something tomorrow, which we shall tell you tomorrow. But in 1920, the 19th Amendment was officially ratified in the United States, securing women the legal right to vote. Imagine, up until like 100 years ago, women were not allowed to vote in the US.
Yes, but when did they start voting?
Well, I'm assuming 1920, after 1920.
Yes.
So the next election after 1920, which I don't know when it was. But the point here is, up until 1920, ladies, women in the US walikuanga spectators of these things we call elections. Hey, juzi tu. You know, 1920, when we're talking about these kinds of things, literally ni juzi. Because around this time, we had the First World War, right? Then later on, a few years later, we had the second. But the point here is, yani there's a time, this great United States of America, you know, making America great again. The yes we can place. Kuna wakati wanawake wako. I actually knew about this whole universal suffrage thing. It's just that I didn't think it was in the 1920s, or rather it was ratified in the they were allowed to vote from that particular time. I knew it was there, but nilikuwa dhani ilikuwa inafanyika huko maybe 1722. Kumbe ni kitu ya juzi tu, like 100 years ago, man. And then now nikianza kushikanisha with the fact that they've had several female presidential candidates, but haven't given any of them a chance. It makes me even feel more sad for this particular situation. From that time, what's her name? Hillary Clinton ran for president. Hawakumpa. Then we had Kamala Harris. Hawakumpa. Kuna mwingine ameikimbilia hichi kiti.
Kamala at least alikuwa deputy.
But she was, after deputy, she went for the you know, the main thing.
Yes.
Na wakamnyima. Surely. Hawa ni watu ina gani hawa? Yeah, it's not like I'm excusing it for any other part of the world, but for a country that is known to have exercised democracy. Actually, I think these are the only guys who brought democracy to the world.
No, it's not them who brought democracy.
It's them.
No.
Niambie nani mwingine alileta democracy?
The British with the Magna Carta had begun this thing long before. American War of Independence,
right,
is what we are familiar with. The Declaration of Independence, and what George Washington and his, thank you very, very much, Winnie, and his ilk did, yes, but
alafu hiyo story ya Ndindi Nyoro uirudie tena.
But remember when the French Revolution, they, in essence, one could argue, the ones who now first visibly came out as a nation.
Who? French?
The French, yes.
Okay.
And they decided they also wanted liberty. Okay? So, but remember, this idea of being able to make your own decisions and vote, there were very many steps to it. The American War of the American War Revolution marked a turning point because they were revolting against the British, and in so revolting, it was a bloody war. But that war had been preceded by other wars that had taken place within that same confines that we refer to as America. Okay, but you heard me talk about the Magna Carta. The Magna Carta was an understanding that the people of England had with their king. The king, I think, was called, if I'm not wrong, it was John. No? I think it was in the 14th to 15th century.
Right.
I'll check it again.
Okay.
But essentially, that was the beginning of what you may call people understanding the need for them to represent themselves. Yes, as opposed to having a monarch who more or less assumes a godlike posture and can lord it over everybody. Yes.
Okay. But ile demokrasi tunajuanga ya presidential system, watu wanajiita Amero ndio walileta hiki.
Yes, the presidential system ni wao, but remember, the British have a parliamentary system. Okay. The French have, well, there's also it's a presidential system, but it's not quite like the American one.
Okay.
One, first of all, their term of office after it was changed by Charles de Gaulle, it's something like 7 years.
Okay.
Term more than 7 years. But they also changed very many other things in between. There are countries that are extremely democratic, but they have fashioned their democracy to suit their purposes and to accommodate the diversity of peoples within their borders. Yes.
Okay. But 1920, man, this one.
You know, America.
Yeah.
The reason why we know America and we recognize the democracy within it is, one, the injustices that have been in that country and that people have fought for came at a time when information was readily available. It wasn't the 21st century, but people got to know a lot more about it. And because of, again, the injustices that were rained upon the indigenous people of that country, slavery and the role it played, the emancipation of slaves, their own internal conflict, North against South, all those things made America a country that was in the conversation and in many people's minds. Then when the war came, the first European war, which they decided to call the First World War,
right,
they didn't really participate. But in the Second World War, they said it is America who made it possible for the war to turn in favor of the Allies.
Fun fact, what we refer to as the First World War, before there was a Second World War, it was known as the Great War.
Yeah, and I'm calling it the European War.
Yes, it was known as the Great War. Then when they had the Second Great War, they realized, you know what, this thing we might as well just call it World War. Growing up as a kid city, nilikuwa ninaogopa nikisikia kunaweza kuwa na World War 3. Growing up as a child, when I was in primary school, of course I had heard about the First World War, and I was like, wow. And we didn't have YouTube then, so you couldn't go and research the way we can just get the kind of information we get today. There was no Google that you could go and Google World War 1, World War 2, so that you can get to understand. So everything I knew about the First and the Second World War was what I heard people talk about. Oh, watu wengi walikufa. Oh, Holocaust. Oh, Jews this, Jews that. And I was like, wow. Then, of course, there was talk about what happens if we get into a World War 3. Wow. Sisi wa Afrika tutamalizwa. Our armies are inferior to the Europeans and the Americans. China this, China that, Japan. That thing used to scare me, City.
For a young mind, it is very scary.
Yeah. Then because I was asking myself, that's a World War 3 kitokezea leo hapa. That time we used to live in a place called Ngando. And actually before that, tulikuwa tunaishi place ingine ilikuwa Satellite. Uko side za City. Uko Riruta. So I would hear of the world wars and I was like, sasa hata huku mali tunaishi huku. world war ikatokezea hapa, sasa mimi naweza jificha wapi hapa, you know,
chini ya kitanda.
Makombora akianza kuanguka hapa, si nimemalizwa
chini ya kitanda
hapo, nimemalizwa. And I would look at my parents and I would ask, yani now my parents would be taken into slavery maybe, and then me I would be Then I watched another movie called Escape from Sobibor. Have you watched that movie?
A long time ago.
Yes. I watched it recently also, I think like last year, because it really, the first time I watched it, again, I was a very...
Is there a remake of the same movie?
No.
Same one?
Same thing, same
characters?
Filmography, venye nakatu, same thing. So I've watched it several times actually after the first time I watched it as an adult. And every time I watch it, you know, it brings up those emotions. I put myself in the shoes of those people that were murdered at the time, and it was a really tough time for them. So, but anyway, watching that movie, and I ask myself, what if this were to repeat itself today? Where would Paul Mungala Mbuvi be? You have
a fairly active imagination, which is a good thing.
Yeah. But nasemanga saizi, I think after understanding a lot of things, I think we'll be fairly safe here in Kenya. Wenye watapigana huko Europe na America, sisi hapa Africa
actually
tutawaambia boss.
Not necessarily. You see, like for instance, if you listen to the rhetoric that is now beginning to take place in our political landscape, it is worrying. Because it's the rhetoric that brings about division, and it's the rhetoric that foments violence. And all in the name of the politics and us and our people, and what we stand for, and everything in between.
I have this feeling that if other nations, other continents, because I don't think Africa will be part of that nonsense, if other continents decide to go at it, Africa will tell them, please, by all means, leave us alone. Why? Because this current generation that we have raised, I'm talking about millennials, the Gen Zs, we won't stand for that.
You actually think that they're going to ask you permission? They'll bring the war to you.
We will reject it. Wewe unatucheza, wewe si tu unacheza na sisi wewe. Unajua nyinyi ndio mtakuja kumchukulia mwende mkapigane. Sisi mtatuacha huku.
No.
Tukidance.
Let me repeat what I said. They will bring
the war to you. Bro, unless they come here and start shooting us, we are not going there.
That's what bringing the war to you means.
Yeah. Unless they bring their planes here and they literally start shooting us, we will tell them, my friend.
On this continent with our diversity, they'll find allies, my friend.
Nani? Apa.
We don't have a unified continent.
Apa.
We don't.
You know, right now we might look like we are a divided continent.
No, because it's not that we don't. Look, we are a divided continent.
No, I don't think so. Our leaders might be divided. Leaders might be.
Paul, we're a divided continent.
But
we talk about unity.
Individual citizens.
We fairy tale about what a unified continent we are. We are extremely far from anything that you may call unity.
Maybe we ongelele South Africa, but not the rest of us.
No. The continent of Africa is not united. It is as simple as that.
Conversation for another day. But we shall bring in an expert. Tupati methali.
We are in
Libya.
The state of Libya. The flute player dies with his finger shaking.
Come again?
The flute player dies with his finger shaking. You need your fingers to play the flute. I mean, for the sound of the flute to come, to resonate with anything you can refer to as music.
Pole sana, barikiwa. So if I'm to take it literally, does it mean that at the time of his death or her death, this is now the flute player, the fingers are, replaying what they usually do? Yeah.
What do we remember a flute player for? His flute. Exactly.
Anapuliza kile kidude akifanya nini? Akicheza nyimbo.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what you remember them for.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So like I said, I am assuming that everyone, when it is their time to leave this earth, they'll probably live doing what they love doing most.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Okay.
Excuse me?
Sijawasha AC.
No. See, it's the cold I walked in with.
Oh.
I remember,
yeah.
Before you come into this building, you pass through
Baridi.
Yep. And it is fairly chilly out there. Yes.
It is actually. All right, our first story on www.radiogeneration.co.ke takes us all the way to Homa Bay. Oh, no, wait. Just here in Nairobi, but it's about Homa Bay. Peter Kaluma summoned over Homa Bay remarks as NCIC opens inquiry. This is a story that has been jotted by one Maureen Kinyanjui. Peter Kaluma is set to appear before the National Cohesion and Integration Commission after the agency opened an inquiry into remarks he made during a political event in Homa Bay County. The Homa Bay Town MP has been directed to report to the Commission's offices at Britam Towers, Upper Hill, Nairobi, tomorrow, Wednesday, August 19th, at 10 a.m. Now, the summons dated Monday requires Kaluma to assist the Commission with investigations into statements attributed to him during a political engagement on August 15th. You know, I've seen people replying, or rather responding to what...
Summons.
Not the summons, to the statements that Muhesh made. And people are saying that if he didn't want people to go to Homa Bay, then he shouldn't be allowed to campaign anywhere else other than Homa Bay. So yeye apige kampeni yake Homa Bay, and if he has a preferred presidential candidate, for example, asiende kumpigia kura ati, for example, Ukambani ama Kisii, ampigie tu debe wapi within Homa Bay County.
But that is saying the same thing Kaluma is saying.
It is actually. But it is that whole idea of aura for aura.
No, that's wrong.
It is wrong. For
That's
sure.
wrong. What the NCIC is doing is what should be done, because you want to hold people accountable. If you are in a position of leadership, you are an elected leader, it is expected of you to be a little more responsible.
True story.
And being somebody is good enough, because if indeed there was commotion and people died, you cannot then blame the various departments of government that deal with security if they ask him to come and explain. No, you can't.
Yeah. And he should appear, he should explain himself, but most importantly, tuache tu story mingi, apologize and move on. Apologize, show remorse, be contrite about it, and just say, guys, I made a mistake, I said something I shouldn't have said, and I take full responsibility, and I ask the people that I represent, the people who elected me, sent me to parliament, I ask them for forgiveness. If you're too. Naambia NCIC, bwana.
No, I don't think that thing should. You don't get a slap on the wrist. No. If it is found that indeed his utterances amounted to incitement, then whatever requisite response to incitement, that is what we should see. There is no slap on the wrist. Nations burn. People die. Property is lost. Horrible things happen because of utterances. It's not something to be taken lightly at all. At all.
So hapa hakuna forgive 70 times 7.
No. This is not Bible study.
Yeah.
You know, there's a level of irresponsibility that cannot be winked at. It is expected of you to show an example of accommodation and of balance.
Yes.
And you then proceed to do the complete opposite. He has been summoned. Let us hear what NCIC
tells us after the investigation.
Yes, but then they've called Peter Kaluma. Anybody else whose utterances borders on incitement, let them clamp down on all these people.
There's a CS who said he's not showing up until Gachagua shows up.
You know that
Yeah. Na akasema by the time mnaniita, please make sure Gachagua amefika huko mbele yangu.
It doesn't work like that. You take responsibility for what you said. Gachagua will take responsibility for what he has said. Yes. But you know, this impunity that people keep displaying, this demonstration of them disregarding the law or fashioning and interpreting the law in a manner that suits them, it's dangerous. It is dangerous. Because that example is seen and it will be followed. Yes.
A political party that has largely remained outside the national spotlight is now at the center of attention after Kiaru MP Ndindi Nyoro chose it as his new political home and declared that he and his supporters had crossed into the opposition. Nyoro announced the move. Hey, nini inaninyonga pia mimi. Okay, here we go. Nyoro announced the move on Monday, August 17th, 2026, ending his association with the UDA party and taking over the leadership of the PPK. So he's now the party leader of PPK.
But you see, he should resign. And in 90 days, the speaker should announce the vacancy immediately, and in 90 days we should have an election.
IEBC was saying sasa tunarudi kwa nini.
But that's what the law states. But all these people who keep talking about resigning and they're still earning a salary, they're still no. This is where now the clerk of the assembly should act. If somebody says they have joined, stop the pay immediately.
PPK describes itself as a grassroots political organization whose focus is on ordinary Kenyans. Its target group includes teachers, traders, farmers, border riders, and young people. So this is more or less a Labour Party.
This is more or less every other political party in the country.
Yeah.
Is there a political party that does not claim to represent all these people?
Maraga ina target Gen Z, ama?
No, it doesn't. It's the Gen Z who targeted Maraga.
And the party uses the slogan, Sauti ya Wakenya. Isn't that the slogan for one of the radio stations? Sauti ya Wakenya ikwangi Sauti ya Kenya.
Yes.
Kuna station fulani inatumianga hii kama slogan.
Si hata hao wako tu hapo tu.
Anyway, I'm happy for Ndindi Nyoro. Let him go do his thing. And we wish him all the best. Kama political parties act, what a clamp down on all this party hopping, not want to declare. But who should actually be the one to enforce this particular rule, whereby if I start declaring my support for another party, yet I belong to a different party, then someone should say, Mbuvi, tumeona hapo ni kama umetoka huko.
ORPP should call
so
them
ni
out.
ORPP.
They should call them out.
Yes,
And
so bro, are you in PPK or are you in UDK? UDA, sorry.
yes.
Aseme I'm in PPK.
Okay.
All right. So you're no longer member of parliament, yeah? All right. Thank you so much.
Ndio hiyo. Because the moment, it doesn't follow that when you resign is when this particular action should be taken. If your activities point to you supporting another political party, that's it. You are deemed to have resigned. That's how it is written.
You know that US we were talking about earlier on? There's a lady who was, what was she? She resigned just a couple of months ago. I think she was congresswoman or senator or something, but she was somewhere there.
Yes.
And she differed with President Trump.
Yes.
She belonged to the Republican Party. And when she differed, she was like, I can't support this guy anymore. Can't support his policies. I can't even... what is it called? Siwezi mpigia debe huko kwa ground on some of the issues that he's doing. And on that particular note, I am done with this party. And she resigned even from her position. Let's assume she was Congress. She even resigned from her position as Congresswoman. And she was like, let's meet in the next election because this is clearly not what I signed up for. Yeah.
It's how it should be done. But our people, these are the lawmakers who you would think that they're the ones who'd set the example of how it is you must be subservient to the law.
Yeah.
They are the first, if you're talking about a queue that people have, they're the front of the queue when it comes to breaking the law. How do you clearly support another party and yet you are quite happy to sit back, earn a salary that is given to you by virtue of having been elected on another party ticket? I mean, come on. What does this tell you about the people we have voted for and elected? What does it tell you?
You see, I will blame it on the nature of our politics, Kenyan politics, that is.
How?
Because our politicians, see what, of course, kuna politicians wengine, when they're out of office, you can literally see this person is suffering.
Or many of them suffer visibly.
Yani, you can tell this guy is broke.
Let me put it again. You will tell that they are visibly suffering.
Yes. Even their dress code changes. You can see they are struggling to keep up appearances.
Yes.
Because kakitu kameisha.
Yes.
Okay? So some of them will be like, I really want to resign, but I'm resigning to what?
Then why do you you know,
nina resign alafu niende nyumbani niambie bibi na watoto after nimengangana ku campaign, nilingangana nika campaign, spent X amount of money, I have not recouped that money, I am supposed to resign, I have all these tenders lined up.
You know, those are besides the point, because the very parties that you're moving to are the ones who tell you, chief, you need to resign from that other party before you join this one. But ours, mix and match. I'm in this party, but actually I've resigned and I'm in this party. I mean,
other than DCP, wakati waliingia by elections and UDA, that time they did their thing before they were elected into power. You tell me which other political party is able to mobilize and even win a by election. Ati today tuseme Nyoro ametoka UDA ameenda Wiper. You think Wiper right now have got the muscle to do a by election in Kiharu? I don't think they have. Which other party? Even this PPK. You think they have the muscle and the time and the energy and the resources to do an election in Kiharu, a by election? I don't think they have. So they will tell you, and I get what the law says. Umetoka, umefaa kuresign, toka kwa hicho kiti chako kama member of parliament, go start afresh and start campaigning for the new party you belong to. But they just don't have the money. And the reality on the ground is they can't do it. And right now, anyway, they are focused on the presidency. Like we were told yesterday, everyone right now is focused on Ruto must go. So they by election, unless you have died like what the late Kiaraho went through, they do not, or the Murua Dikir, they do not have the resources. They can't.
The elections are conducted by IBC.
Yes, they are.
IBC have the resources.
They do.
Okay?
Yes.
These are the things that you should think of when you decided to resign. You see, Paul, my concern is that we have people who were elected and whom, because of the positions they have as a result of those elections, could be referred to as leaders.
Yeah.
But they do not see that they are the ones who are entrenching the disregard for the law.
Yeah.
They are the ones who are entrenching this attitude that the law is a suggestion, that you can adhere to it when it suits you or when it applies to somebody you don't particularly like. And when it applies adversely to that person, then you say that people must obey the law. People can't take the law into their own hands. And yet you, tongue-in-cheek, are doing precisely that. The harm this does to the moral and ethical fabric of the nation, bro, is immense.
It is. And that's why me, CT, I have a lot of respect for the laws of nature. Them, they do not know, they don't favor. They don't favor. Like, unfortunately, the laws of men, those ones unfortunately favor. And sometimes they favor the high and mighty. Wewe saizi patikana kwa corruption scandal, utafungwa CT na tutakusahau huko committee. But someone else in the name of amheshimiwa caught in the same scandal won't even see committee, won't even see the courts.
What will I be caught doing?
It's just an example.
Trying to sell the microphone we're using.
Exactly. Saizi shikwa kwa unajaribu kuuza hizi microphone na hizi vikombe tunakunywa nazo chai. Tafungwa bro. Is bad. Anyway, let's see what's happening on the roads of Nairobi as far as your traffic is concerned.
Traffic.
I'm looking at Landis Road right now. It's looking clean. Yego Road as well. Lusaka iko sawa na hii barabara inajulikana kama Uhuru Highway kitoka Mombasa Road ikienda mpaka Waiyaki Way. Watu wanaotoka na kule Kikuyu wakikuja Nairobi mko sawa kabisa. We also looking at Ngong Road. Ngong Road is clean at the moment. If I stretch it all the way to Ngong, I don't see any traffic snarl-ups. I'm seeing that you guys are moving quite well. Also coming into the CBD, everything is looking mwah. Like I told you, Yego Road, Watwa Eastlands, that entire estate, if I may call it, iko tu sawa. Akina Kayole, Kangundo Road, uko kote Kariobangi, nyinyi hamna shida. All right, Mombasa Road also. If I stretch it back all the way to Cabanas, past Cabanas, to Mlolongo, Athi River, Kitengela, everything is looking mwah. Let's check out Mombasa County. Mombasa County at this particular hour. Watu amba, huku ni wapi sasa? Okay, Changamwe, Mikindani huko kote kuko sawa. Absolutely looking clean as far as movement is concerned, and as usual some places grey. That means that some folks haven't even left the house. You guys are still sleeping. I wonder how this county operates. Ndahamioko for 1 month nielewe. All right, if you see something I need to know about, holla at a brother.
Traffic on Radio Generation.
I want us to take a look at the papers this morning. If you are wondering what is making headlines, several things, including this one for Ndindi Nyoro, making headlines across many of, what are these things called? Found it. Across a lot of the websites that I've been checking this particular morning. I do not know why it is such a big deal, but I guess it's because a lot of folks are just, for lack of a better word, they are hopping from one party to another. But it's expected. Even I think in 2022, see, we experienced this city. See, watu walihama wakaingia UDA wengi sana, wengine wakaingia Jubilee, wengine wakaingia ODM. So hii ni mambo ya kawaida. But according to the Standard,
my point exactly, Paul, this thing people are breaking the law. That should not be, it shouldn't be normalized. But anyway, please go on with what you're saying.
I'm just looking at some of the comments. People are saying that PPK is the only way to go. Thanks Ndindi Nyoro. Watu wengine wakisema thanks God for giving us Ndindi Nyoro.
And so.
Anyway, Standard front page wanasema God save Kenya. Whatever President Ruto sees in the men charged with the country's security, from Interior CS Kipchumba Murkomen and his PS Raymond Omolo to IG of Police Douglas Kanja, continues to baffle many Kenyans. Which Kenyans? Under their watch, the country appears to be sliding into a troubling culture of lawlessness, with political violence increasingly threatening the right to assemble and campaign peacefully. Hours before the Linda Mwananchi rally in Homa Bay, warning signs were unmistakable. Reckless statements by politicians raised the specter of violence, while goons reportedly mobilized in broad daylight. What followed was a trail of destruction, bloodshed, and death, raising serious questions about whether the state can protect citizens from politically instigated violence. Kenyans are now asking a simple but unsettling question: who will protect them when those entrusted with their security appear unable or unwilling to act? And how much longer will the country remain on the edge before the president takes decisive action? This one you will find on pages 2, 4, 5, and 6. But they have a picture there of CS Murkomen, PS Omolo, and IG Kanja. City, when we see people barricading roads, lighting bonfires, people with machetes, quick question: who should we ask what is going on?
The police.
The police. I feel like the police are not coming clear on some of the things that they are doing about this. And I am sure something is being done. Question is it, number one, enough? Is it sufficient? And is it the right thing that they are doing? We live in a country whereby, and especially in this dispensation, this government, manze vitu hazikuangi clear. Mi hiyo tu ndio inakuanga tu shida yangu. Because mnakujanga kuambiwa baadaye, when you ask certain questions, mnauliza but hey, kitu iko na shida fulani, mnaambiwa but look, this and this and this is being done, and you're asking, then why didn't you tell us? Mbona mmetoka kwa hii state ya panic, kwa hii state ya misinformation, disinformation, na mko na majibu? It paints the police in a very bad light.
It does.
And yet these people have been trained. We have very good DCI officers who know their job, who do their job. Umeenda DCI ukiwa na kesi. Man, the way they handle that case, yani mpaka wewe unauliza, am I in the same country that I thought I was? Until you deal with these guys, you actually think they don't do anything.
You see, what we listen to is a claptrap of people who spent the whole day finding the most negative possible things to say about the police service. I dare say some of them may have been at the short end of the stick when it came to dealing with the members of the police service.
Yeah.
But a large number cannot be said to have gone through that experience. It's what they've heard.
Yeah.
But they've never actually had the experience of dealing with the policemen and women at a time when they need their services. They are very good at what they do.
When we lost my brother in 2024, we had to do a postmortem. So we went to the police, recorded everything, and we were given an officer. Yani tukambua endeni kuja afanye. They went, did the investigation, went to the place where whatever had happened. Then from there we went to the postmortem. The guy was there the entire time during the postmortem, wrote his report. And I was like, imagine ni DCI. Hakuna mahali tuliitishwa pesa, hakuna mahali tuliambiwa tutoe kitu, hakuna mahali tuliambiwa tutoe pesa ya mafuta, as much as nilimbeba na gari yangu mpaka huko. But what I'm trying to say is that it was for me, it was one of those moments I was like, guys.
Yes.
Hii ndio DCI.
Yes.
Then I see what we are seeing here, the kinds of dramas we are seeing on the ground, and I can only come to one conclusion. Our problem is the politicians.
Yes, it is. That, my friend, is a very correct submission. And absolutely correct. And
I'm sure even IG Kanja sometimes just sits in his office. He just sees these things and he's like, sasa watu wanataka kunikula kichwa kwa nini?
Yes. Anybody who has ever dealt with the police service, let's talk about DCI. When you have a problem, you will be amazed at the effectiveness and the efficiency with which they will do that. You'll be fascinated. Yes. Forget this claptrap you hear of people saying, oh, unajua watu unajua. On a day-to-day basis, what they do, all these things we take for granted.
Yeah.
You can wake up, you can come to work. There's safety. There is safety. There's security. We just take it for granted, so we don't think about it. We think it just happens. No, it doesn't just happen. What they thwart, what they preempt, the people they arrest, they don't go around telling you everything.
Yeah.
There's a culture that we've developed over time, and it's ripening very fast in this period leading the 2027 election.
Yes.
We are feeding our people on a very steady diet of some of the most corrosive, some of the most negative sentiments and narratives you can actually think of.
True.
All in the name of delegitimizing a sitting president. This government has done very many things that you wish they didn't do. There are things which they've done which are outrightly wrong. And we say government is anyone who is within the ambit of what you call the government, whether it is a police service, whether it is members of parliament. But again, if you're referring to the executive and then you're referring to the arms of government that deal with our security, if today members of the police service said they're on strike for a day, what do you think will happen? You say today, guys, we are not coming to work.
We are on a go slow. Actually, no, forget go slow. We are not coming.
Today, the entirety of the police service are not working. What do you think will happen?
Whatever emergencies you have, keep them to yourself.
No, you just emergency it in the way you know best. Somebody has died, you sort it out.
Yeah.
There's been a robbery, you sort it out. So the courts are working. Yes. So the hospitals are working.
Can you imagine calling 999 and then someone on the other end picks up, if they will, and I'm like, hey, niko hapa hivi George Padmo tunaibiwa, alafu nasikia hey boss, hata siko kazini leo. Hey, pole.
So upige kesho. Tell them politely.
Hey. Ati wow. Ati wapi yuko George Padmo?
In fact, when I'm on Gong Road and there's an accident. Pole sana, pole.
Anakuambia sijui kama umesikia,
lakini
tuko kazi.
Leo tuko kazini.
That would be something. But yes, I get your point, Sitting. And I'm sure someone like IG Kanja, he probably just sometimes picks up the call, his phone rather, and calls his predecessors. Akina Mutiambai, Kome, former IG Kome. Anawambia, hey bro,
there's a disruptive spirit that seems to engulf people in positions of political power. And I believe it has to do with also money. These fellows come across money that they never imagined they could. and their minds just go to the dogs. They behave strangely, they utter strange things, they do even stranger things. But the one thing they don't do, they do not focus on the welfare of this person who elected them. No, that one they left aside. They're busy doing their own things.
That's why I was telling you, if I were to ever become president, I know I wouldn't, but if I were ever to, kitu ya kwanza, wacha hizi story mnasemanga sijui barabara, sijui manyumba, makarao na wasort. Then from there, mtaona venye kutakuwa na law and order. Daily Nation front page. How Homa Bay chaos was plotted. Sources say a politician hosted a meeting to plan their tax days to Sunday's events. Another meeting was held on the eve of the rallies with goons paid up to 4,000 shillings. At least 2 people, including a police officer, killed and scores others injured. Yeah. Local police say 22 suspects were arrested following the violence. This story is on pages 4 and 5 of the Daily Nation. Gachagua claims court altered impeachment judgment. Former Deputy President has challenged the High Court decision upholding the 2024 impeachment by the Senate. Among his key grounds at the Court of Appeal is the claim that the lower court modified the final written judgment to depart from the oral judgment pronounced in open court. That one you'll get on page 8. What would your wellness check reveal? Healthy Nation. Millions in nothing. Millions in, nothing out. That's what I mean. So millions in, nothing out. Farmers' losses amid maize crisis. Page 12. TSC social media gap splits teachers. That one is on page what? Page 14 of the Daily Nation. People Daily. Why Goonism is greatest threat to Ruto's re-election bid. Use of force to silence dissenters exposes a hypocritical gap between executive rhetoric and political reality. One country, 2 laws. Reaction to Kaluma remarks raises questions over selective enforcement of incitement laws. Well, he has been summoned. Let's see how that pans out. Early baby care or income. Inside the heartbreaking choice facing Kenyan mothers. Inakuanga noma. Let me see what else is out here. Taifa Leo. Kila mhuni alipata shilingi 4,000 kule Homa Bay. Vurugu zilizotokea Homa Bay Jumapili wakati wa mikutano ya kundi la Linda Mwananchi huenda zilipangwa siku kadhaa kabla huku wanasiasa wakidaiwa kuhamasisha vijana na kuunda mtandao wa kuratibu uvamizi. Duru kutoka kwa polisi na mahojiano na baadhi ya vijana waliohusika zilifichua kuwa mkutano wa kwanza ulifanyika Agosti siku 2. Agosti 2 nyumbani kwa mwanasiasa mashuhuri August 2nd. Alright. Pale juu Gachagua awasilisha rufaa kule kotini, hiyo tumesema. Kocha mpya wa Man City ana kibarua. Anajulikana kama Maresca. City. Do you know this guy called Maresca?
No, I do not.
Former Chelsea coach. So over the weekend they played with Chelsea and Chelsea beat City 3-0. Okay. Ebola wa Amerika 7 watoka karantini kule Laikipia. After tuliambiwa nini? Tuliambiwa hakuna mtu atakuja huku na Ebola, badini hakuwa nayo. Waliachiliwa baada ya kukamilisha siku 21 za uangalizi katika kituo hicho. That is on page 3. So clearly they didn't have Ebola, right? Wakazi pwani. You want to say something?
That's what a quarantine does. If you've been exposed to the virus, meaning you've been in an environment where there are people who have been diagnosed with Ebola, you are quarantined.
Yes.
That's to determine whether you have been infected or not.
True.
Again, if you are infected, then you are then taken to isolation.
Right.
Yes.
Where now they treat you.
Yes.
Or they wait for you to die.
Yes. Now, the chances are they will know what to do and you need not die. Yes.
Okay. Wakazi pwani watakiwa kujiandalia El Nino. Wito kaunti 6 za pwani kuweka mikakati imara kukabiliana na mafuriko yajayo. Ukurasa wa 5. Yesterday I was speaking to Lady Mathai when I arrived here for the evening show. And she was telling me that what she has heard is that El Nino inaanza October all the way to February next year. City, you look stressed.
No, I'm not stressed. It's just that that information is in the public domain. You only need to look up the Met, and they will give you details of what to expect, where, when.
But my question is, what are we doing with our drainage in Nairobi now that we know the rain is coming? We are 2 months. Is it 2 months? We are more or less 2 months away from that. No, maybe a month plus.
It's a month plus. 1.5 months actually.
Tumeanza kutengeneza drainage yetu ama tunangojea mvua ikianguka hivi ndio tuanze kusema ona floods, tuone magari zikibebwa pale hivyo Grogon. Tumeanza kufungua hizi drainage zetu.
The people we should hear speaking about this are our MCAs.
Okay. MCAs you say?
Yes.
Wawakilishi wa wodi.
But the people who are going to be affected are in their wards.
Okay.
Yes. Whether it is South C, whether it is South B, whether it is Nairobi West.
Unasikianga MCAs city unless they want to impeach Sakaja.
Well, we keep talking about members of parliament. Assembly members are just that.
Yeah. They are members of parliament.
Yes, it is their job to raise the alarm, and it is their job to protect the citizens of the wards.
Yes.
Because if you break down the administrative units that we have, it's a ward. So it is them who should have been ringing this bell loudly and saying this is what we need to do, and pushing the county government and the Department of Engineering or whichever department it is that deals with these things to start pulling up their socks. It's their job.
And I'm going to ask again. Umewasikia mali?
It doesn't matter. It is because one doesn't hear of them, and the next thing you're going to hear is governor. Yes, that one we get. But what do we elect MCAs for? To represent us. So let them start talking about what is needed, not the governor.
Meanwhile,
city,
start preparing to work from home, because unajua barabara yetu venye na kwanga.
Bro, I am aware of what this road is like.
Right.
And I'm going to be coming to work.
But I'm glad they actually fixed George Padmore Road. If I'm being honest about it, they have recarpeted it, and also the drainage for this specific road.
They have cleared. Actually evacuated all the rubbish that had filled up that particular.
And they have re-cemented the walls of the, let me call it the banks of the sea.
It is the water drainage.
Yes. Mtaro. They have cemented it, so at least if water is going to pass through, it will pass vizuri tena sana. However, I can only speak for George Padmore. Hizo zingine sijaona.
Bro, the thing is this. When you find, I started with the South Sea for a simple reason. The development in South Sea is rapid, it is vast, and in its progression, there's a likelihood that certain drainage passages have been interfered with. It is likely that what had been set up as a passageway for water to pass through has been interfered with. So what it means is that when it rains and starts flowing, instead of flowing, it will be stopped, and if it's stopped, it'll just keep rising up.
Yes.
So
and form a lake.
So before you know it, there'll be water in people's houses.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hiyo ndio kitu sasa ninaogopea watu wengi sana.
Yes. Now that is the thing that the councillors, who we now call MCAs,
should be dealing with.
Yes, that's what they should be dealing with. Not telling us how this person has done God knows what, how this person has done God knows what.
Kisikia MCAs wakiongea,
yes,
wewe jua tu ni nani, watakuwa wanataka ku-impeach nani? Mrs. Sakaja. Otherwise, anything else beyond that,
they don't want to impeach Sakaja. They want to shake him down.
Okay. Over to you, City.
Let's look at the Star newspaper.
Okay.
There's a story here in the Star. It's actually the headline of the Star. And it talks about how it is that power reaches 1.6 million as state lights up forgotten villages. Central counties have recorded 190,090 connections, led by Kiambu with 43,958, Nyeri with 42,528. If I'm to go by what I have just read, then it is a good thing. It means that we are lighting up the country.
Yes, we are.
Sawa kabisa.
Kabisa.
Okay. It's not just that, my friend. Even in Tana River, in Lodwar, Lodwar is Turkana.
Yes.
Okay. These are things that are happening now.
we were looking at the map with you
Yes.
on, was it Monday or when?
Monday was yesterday.
Yes.
I suspect it was last week.
Friday.
Yes.
I was shocked city ati load barabara inaishia lodwa. How do people survive in that area of Turkana?
There are roads, yes, but you want to pray very hard. Now, Turkana is a town. Let me tell you about Lodwa, not Turkana. It is a town where when it rains, it's flattish.
Okay.
The water flows through the town. There's a time...
Like a river.
Yes, it does. There was a time there was a time you would have people being buried in shallow graves.
So you see a coffin just pass you by?
If not just a body.
Because the coffin has been shattered somewhere along the
way. And so you find the bodies floating across town as it continues. When I speak about governors and the way they have failed their citizens, it is not careless talk.
Yeah.
When you visit certain parts of this country, you will understand just how these individuals whom are elected to govern their counties have been an absolute and unmitigated letdown for their people.
So when the president launched that SHA ambulance thing last week, 922, mtu akipiga simu akiwa lodwa?
Itaenda, sio ati hakuna barabara. The road network exists. You are talking about tarmac roads. The road networks exist. But my friend, a lot of the time you'll find them in disrepair. Even the county roads that should be maintained, you'll find they're not maintained. Paul, if we have embraced as a heartfelt religious position that we will steal from the poor and the needy, what do you think is going to be done that will help the poor and the needy? Nothing. Okay? People are more concerned about how wealthy they can get. The issue and the idea of just understand that this money was intended to benefit those who don't have, to make their lives better, to improve their lives by encouraging them to farm more, if not to take them to market, but to be food sufficient. All these things are lost in our conversations when theft becomes at the forefront of the minds of people who are in positions of authority.
I can't imagine if my Usha goes in Turkana, man. You know me how I enjoy going to Kitui every once in a while? Like literally in 2-3 hours max, I can be in my shags.
Your shags is a good place, my friend.
Hey.
What you need to do, there's a county next to us called Garissa. Okay? When you have time and you have a friend there,
yes,
forget the main road. Tell him to take you to the interior and see how people live there.
I'll talk to Abdi here.
Yes, just go and see how people live so that you can compare. Then if you have a friend, tell him to take you to Tana River. Tana River is green.
Okay.
But neglect. Anyway, let me look at the news.
Yes.
Let me look at the news. You know, you're talking about regions of the country that since independence have never seen electricity. And this should be a right. A right. Not something you go begging for.
Yeah.
All right. US unlocks 77 billion for Gavi as Kenya faces funding transition costs. Okay, you're going to ask me, okay, CT, Gavi, what is it? You see, one of the things that the United States has done for a long time, through various agencies within their government, they have supported our health system, they have supported research, they have supported the development of vaccines.
Yeah.
Okay? Most people don't even know that some of the vaccines that we were using during COVID were actually being tested here within Kenya. And everything that had to do with its efficacy was actually being done in Kenya. A lot of it was done at Kimeli headquarters. A great deal of it was also done in Kimeli Wellcome Trust, Kilifi. The reason is they have the capacity.
Yeah.
Yes. That's why that happened.
Okay.
Okay. Then there is a story of governor in hot soup over missing campaign cash. This country of ours, chief.
It amazes you every single day.
Every single day. Every single day. I'm tired of reading depressing news. Let me go to the Business Daily. Hey, Thought I was escaping depressing news.
No.
Inside 10 firms holding 60% of state tenders. In the picture is a gentleman by former President Moi's aide Joshua Kule in court on Thursday, January 10th. This is a picture of him in 2019. And the case that is being spoken of is when he was charged with something that had to do, they were saying there was a charge about defrauding. Yes, that's the picture. Yet the story that we see is 10 firms captured more than half of the 217 billion reported public tenders in the year ending 2025. So what I was looking at is I'm wondering, why is Joshua Kule's picture here? This is 2019 picture.
Yeah.
And then we're talking about 10 companies that more or less have cornered the 217 billion state tenders.
Yeah.
Why? Unless they're implying that he is among the people whose companies have won the tenders. Now, if they've won the tenders, what are you saying? Are you saying they were not qualified to get the tenders?
Perhaps that is what they insinuate.
Yes. Or are you saying that it's unfair that just a few companies can get the bulk of the work? You see, you need to go into the nitty-gritty of what the work was.
Yeah.
And you may find that in certain fields, there aren't that very many companies that can do the work. But everybody and their cousin these days are in the business of
entrepreneurship.
Well, yes, they would tender for roads.
Yeah.
Okay, they know what a road is, that's for sure. But the engineering concept and everything that is required.
Hapo sasa ndio story.
That, my friend, now becomes a completely different story.
All right, let's get into that news break. When we return, of course, I'll be checking some of your salams. Martin Mwala amesema played with Chelsea. Oh yes, even Nancy Njeri ameluza it was Arsenal versus Man City. Yes, the Community Shield, I remember. I'm sorry for that confusion. Chelsea played Real Sociedad and then Arsenal played Man City. That was where the confusion was. But thank you for that reminder. Let's get into the news. When we return, of course, we get into that hour's conversation.
Radio Generation, the home of urban soul. This is the Radio Generation News.
Good morning, I'm Winnie Maganga. An autopsy report has revealed that 21-year-old Eric Mwiruri died from 2 gunshot wounds to the chest with the bullets fired from an elevated angle. The finding supports claims that Mwiruri was kneeling when he was shot by police in Githurai 44 following a dispute at a local entertainment joint. Mwiruri reportedly got into a disagreement with a manager on August 9th, after which police were called to the scene. Witnesses and family members say he knelt down and raised his hands and surrender when the officers arrived.
We have confirmed that the entry was at a higher level than the exit of the bullets. And this only means that the shooter was at an elevated vantage point compared to where the victim was.
Tunataka wachukuliwe hatua kali ili tujue haki ya mtoto wetu.
Tulikuwa mbali na tulikuwa kwa giza, lakini kwa sasa mwanga umepatikana.
Women leaders in Kenya are calling for greater unity, fairness, and stronger security measures to protect female candidates and journalists ahead of the 2027 general election. Speaking at the Women and Youth Convention hosted by Kenya Women Parliamentary Association in Nairobi, the leaders highlighted systemic challenges that continue to affect women seeking elective positions. They called for a political environment where women can participate freely and safely, while urging stakeholders to strengthen measures against intimidation, violence, and other barriers to political participation.
Don't forget who you are, and do not ever let anybody define you, because the moment you step up, even fellow women might ask you, how do you think you are going to navigate in this, terrain? You may not meet much encouragement, it will be discouragement. But ignore the naysayers. What is in you must be so strong. You must believe in yourself.
If we want to win, especially those of us who are in broad-based, if we want to win, we can only win by speaking our ideology, not by beating people. We actually lose people when we are violent.
Kiharu Member of Parliament Ndindi Nyoro has proposed that starting 2028, Kenyans' NSSF contributions be reduced by 50%, with the other half redirected to the healthcare system. Nyoro says the proposal could inject an additional 40 billion Kenya shillings into healthcare to support crucial sector.
The amount of money Kenyans are contributing into NSSF, ile ya pensions, ya retirement, we have that percentage. We reduce it by 50%. That extra 50% reduction goes into healthcare, and that will add into our healthcare system an extra 40 billion shillings ambayo itapea wa Kenya afya mwafaka na yenye hawatakuwa wanarudi kwa mfuko kulipa. Many families have been ravaged by bills. As much as we are talking as leaders, we must provide practical solutions, and that is my practical solution. Within the same kitty of around 40 billion additional, it is enough money to take care adequately of all emergencies that meet Kenyan families.
Most parts of Kenya are expected to experience generally dry conditions this week, according to the Kenya Meteorological Department. The Met says a few counties including Bungoma, Trans Nzoia, Nakuru, Uasin Gishu, Kisii, Lamu, Kericho, Nyandarua and Nyeri could receive rainfall between August 18th and 24th. Intermittent cool and cloudy conditions are also expected in parts of several counties, including Nairobi, Kiambu, Embu, Meru, Machakos, Kajiado, and Marsabit. Zambian security forces have seized weapons and arrested 11 people, including senior opposition figures, over an alleged insurrection plot. Government officials say opposition presidential candidate Brian Mundubile was found at the scene of raid in the capital Lusaka. However, Mundubile has dismissed the allegations as fabrications, claiming security forces staged an attempt on his life during a raid at his home. And that's the truth on Radio Generation. Good morning, I'm Winnie Maganga.
The views and opinions expressed on this program are those of the guests and do not necessarily reflect the views of Radio Generation. Radio Generation assumes no responsibility or liability for the interviewee's views. This is Radio Generation. In the beginning, there was morning radio. But now there is Radio Generation's The People's Breakfast, curious and bold, getting facts from the shadows.
That's what it is.
Now, as the city wakes and secrets stir, a bright new voice shines. The People's Breakfast. Your morning, your voice, your journey. Good morning.
Good morning, my neighbor.
Welcome to the home of hard truths and bold insights, Radio Generation.
Good morning and welcome back to the People's Breakfast on Radio Generation. Kuna mtu amesema kama Ndindi Nyoro ameenda to the People's Party, he should come to the People's Breakfast. Imagine I went to school with that guy, lakini kumpata kwa simu inakuanga shida. I don't understand what happens when people become politicians. Sielewangi, lakini
but their lives stop being their
is.
own, my friend. The demands on their time, when they were students, the demands on their time now,
right,
two very different things.
Bro, hata SMS huwezi kosa kureply.
Sasa now that speaks to the way it's organized, because there are people in those positions who respond.
Haya, John Mutua amesema good morning, niko tuned in. Movie, please pass my please pair my friend City some warm lemon ginger water. Okay, wacha nipigie, kuna watu hapa vichini wanauzanga hiyo concoction, naambia walete. Luis Rudasingo amesema good morning.
Good morning.
Mutodhia Dhiaka amesema good morning Mbuvi and City from Masi Kavumbu. Mutodhia kase, welcome. Marita amesema good morning Kings and Queens, hope RTK family wamerauka salama. Natuma salamu kwa City, Mbuvi, Edna and Openje. Ujumbe Bosongo Chituka iko locked in. Shukran sana, my friend. Edna, by the way, is still away. Told you that she's preparing to lay her father to rest. I believe it's going to happen tomorrow.
Friday.
It's on Friday?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so bado kuna hiyo mambo inaendelea on that end. But thank you. Salamu, I'm sure wherever she is anaona hizi comments. Creative Dan amesema good morning Wisdomia City Mbuvi, City Muga and Mbuvi. Migori tuko ndani. Mbuvi hii RG ifike Migori tafadhali, tunataka RG power. Itafika, but for now hapo tu kwa YouTube umeshikilia. Shukran sana my friend. Alando amesema good morning City Mbuvi. City kindly ask, acha niangalie. Kindly ask Mbuvi if his neighborhood is united, then is his constituency. Is Nairobi united as a country? Is Kenya united? Now uliza kama we are as Africans are united. Okay, Alando, I get your point. Mbogo amesema morning guys, we cannot downplay the politically instigated violence that designed to make Kenya ungovernable, especially when it's led by seasoned inciters. Okay, Mbogo, thank you, I agree. John Gogi amesema when one crazy politician will start arming these goons, that is when we will have a sure way to Haiti.
The goons are already armed, just so that we understand each other. Don't assume they're not armed. They're already armed. The weapons may be crude, but they are armed.
Amesema they will start taking control of roads and counties, and we will start paying for protection. Tony anasema morning guys, if Kanja was wise he would resign because it seems the master of the goons is above the law.
Why should Kanja resign again?
Anasema the goons are above the law.
No. When you hear, how many counties do we have in this country?
How many?
Counties.
47.
All right. And how often do we hear of goons? If they
nowadays it's a daily occurrence, friend.
And in each part of the country?
Not all of them.
Precisely. So he is creating a state of alarm when none exists. If you want to talk about goonism, you have to be specific. You have to say, we experience it here, we see it here, so that we know what you're dealing with. But there's a statement that many people who are in the social media space like doing. They encompass the entirety of the population of Kenya and say, Kenyans have said, and you're, what are you talking about? The whole of Kenya is at risk. What are you talking about? Be specific. Where are the goons operating? When you see goons, what is happening? Okay?
Okay.
And then you can follow up who it is, who you think, because these are entrepreneurs. They go to work when they are paid.
Okay.
It's not a voluntary service. Yeah.
Tony amesema goonism is not a threat to Ruto's re-election, rather it is what will make him re-elected. Tafakari hayo. Alafu Martin na Nancy wamenikumbusha ilikuanga game ya Man City na Arsenal. Alright, asanteni sana. Mbogwa amesema Ruto's plan escalate the violence across the country and have IEBC postpone the general election indefinitely. Simon Indiatsi atatufungia amesema good morning. Hi people. He People's Party of Kenya. He People's Party of Kenya. Si ya Moses Kuria. Ya Moses Kuria kitu, si ndio?
I honestly do not know.
Acha tutaangalia kitu vizuri. Tutaiangalia vizuri tuelewe. Anyway, allow me to introduce our guest who's in studio now. He's an advocate of the High Court. And we want to look at what happened in Homa Bay, the chaos, political goonism, which is forming part of our conversations nowadays, and who should be taking responsibility of this particular situation. It is Wahome Thuku. Wahome, good morning and welcome to Radio Generation. Nice to have you here with us.
Thanks so much, Mbuvi. Thanks so much.
Karibu sana. Before tuingie kwa maneno ya goonism tena, Sitia kona methali. This time around we are in Libya. Wacha kuelezea. Then you tell us what you think of this particular proverb. City, over to you.
The flute player dies with his fingers shaking.
The flute player dies with his
fingers are shaking.
He dies at work. Dies when he dies on duty. Yeah.
Okay.
It's like saying he does the job up to the last minute.
I had similar sentiments actually. Nilikuwa nasema he died or she died doing what they love doing most.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I agree
precisely.
with you. Thank you for that one. There's a LSK boycott. Yeah, judges. Is it still ongoing? Because I think there was a court order, court ruling that said that shouldn't be happening. Maybe you can just give us an update about what's happening.
Yes, there was. Okay, there is.
Yes.
The boycott per se was one day. The general boycott. After that, there was a review that said, well, let not shut down every Every court. Let's not fail to attend to every court.
Okay.
But be specific on those judges and magistrates and other officials of courts whom you think are, to blame for all manner of things, corruption, inefficiencies. That has been the position of the LSK so far.
Yeah.
As to whether people are actually boycotting those courts, even for those judges whom you say this I can pinpoint to one and say this is a corrupt judge,
yes,
or is perceived to be corrupt. Still, people are. They are still presiding over the cases. I don't think, as such, there are lawyers who are so keen on not attending to court matters.
Okay.
These days, we do a lot of work online. Okay. Most of the litigation is court engagement.
Yeah.
It's done online.
Okay.
So, as how you would monitor that to know lawyers are not going to court online, I don't think it's that possible. And you haven't had anyone say that, well, the online platform was shut today because there was no work. I don't think so.
Okay.
So, I think there better be another way of addressing corruption in the judiciary, which is rampant, I must say. But there are better be other ways of dealing with it. More legal and more official. You remember we had 2020 when Kibaki came in. When was this? 2023?
Yes.
203.
203, yes.
Yes. There was the radical surgery of the judiciary. It was provided, I think it was, no, it was not 203. There was a phase in 203, and then there was a phase when the new constitution came, 2010.
Yes.
That addressed the depth of that. Remember, there was the vetting of judges, even the sitting ones. They had to submit themselves to a committee that vetted them, and some went home. Some decided they are not even going to face this committee because they felt they are not clean enough.
They will be exposed.
That kind of thing is what we need. Okay. And we need that in the judiciary. We need that in so many other sectors of the government.
Okay.
So that we deal with this corruption once and for all.
All right. Yes. Now, we'll call you back here so we can discuss this issue of corruption in the judiciary because...
am I the right person
No, I mean...
to talk about it.
But as someone who is dealing with...
You're an officer of the court.
Yes.
Utatuambia.
But maybe officers of the court are the ones who are not supposed to talk much about the corruption.
Actually,
if you don't talk about it, then who can? Because I can't.
Actually, you, Mbuvi, is the one who is supposed to say, I have been... You saw corruption is you feel it more when you're not part of it. Okay. Because a lawyer could be the one bribing a judge, but you as a kawaida guy out there, you are the one who can say, I took my case to court through this lawyer. It has stayed there for 10 years or whatever number.
Yes.
People are able to believe you more than if I, an advocate, were to say there's corruption in the judiciary. Okay, people may say, what about you are part of it?
Yes.
You, Mbuvi, you are out of it.
Yes.
So I think, well, even during that vetting, what walikuwa naambiwa, just bring your complaints. And people came, ordinary
Kenyans,
guys came out to say, I was asked this amount, I had to bribe this way, I had to do 1, 2, 3. And that's how the surgery came about.
Okay.
So I think you are the better one to... And
don't worry. Hiyo wakati ikifika, we shall work out something.
Thank you so much.
Now, in regards to what we have been seeing lately, Homa Bay, 2 people died, 53 injured, how many people arrested? And it's like every time we have a major political rally, whether it's a Linda Mwananchi rally or whether it is, people have gone together to listen to Matiang, something always is happening in this country. And you ask yourself, why? Why do we have to die at a political rally? I'm going to listen to someone presenting their CV to me. Then we end up hearing, how many people are injured, how many people are arrested. Where are we getting? How did we get here?
Okay, let me say it's unfortunate that so many years after independence, we should have gone past this kind of a thing.
Yes.
But let me say this, that we have gotten here through a historical process. I'm sure City would know that Goonism or political violence is not that new. Maybe we make it look so new.
Yes.
But it's not. It's as old as maybe our multi-party.
It's as old as time.
Actually, I would think it's as old as this country because we know during the Moi period there was political violence, a lot of it.
Yes, there was.
Even Kibaki's time, you remember 2007 what happened, and even before that.
Yes.
Uhuru's time still there was an extension of that. I'm not sure about Kenyatta's time. I was not there then, the old Kenyatta.
There was
Kenyatta
there was a youth wing of KANU.
Yes.
And it is them who, when you hear the word discipline,
they are the ones who discipline.
Yeah, don't assume that somebody is asking you to stand in a line. No, they're coming to beat you.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember. I know the youth, the KANU youth,
yes,
was an official grouping that was more like a police. It's a very official, it's a party group of KANU. But they are the disciplinary. I mean, what is the word for it?
They were enforcers, actually.
They are the enforcers. They are the guys who would beat up people, in an official way.
Yes.
Is this the same youth for KANU that?
No.
Oh, it's not youth for KANU.
Youth for KANU was now the kawaida, the kind of a goons arm of KANU.
Yes.
There was the KANU youth. They had uniforms.
They were youth wingers. They even wore uniforms, red shirts. Yes.
They had red, black uniforms. So, violence in relation to politics is not that new. It's a very old phenomenon. But the fact now, what I'm thinking is that we ought to have gone past this.
Yes.
And Goonism, as you know, it's not one jacket kind of an operation.
It's not homogeneous.
Yes, it's everyone doing it. I have my goons.
Okay.
Maybe we source them from the same source with the city. Depending on who came first to source, because this money venture, as he said earlier. And don't think that goons are directed in one way. Mine could be, let me put it this way.
Yes.
I could be the government. Or I could be somebody, an operative within government.
Yes.
I have goons because I want them to target Mbuvi, who is my opponent on the opposition.
Yes.
I could still use them to target City, who is in the opposition with me, but he is my opponent. You get what I'm talking about? There's no one direction for goonism.
Okay.
A lot of times I see people saying the government is to blame. Yes, it is to blame when it fails to act on the goonism. I mean, on goons.
Yes.
Sorry. And it will fail to act purposely for that. You see, sahi, if I'm Wahome and I'm in opposition,
yes,
tunapigana hapa na CT yaka opposition, nimtumie goons.
Okay.
The government will just sit aside and let you guys do your job. I mean, mchapane nyinyi wenyewe.
Wanasemanga do not correct your enemy when they're making mistakes.
Yes. And so, when people are killed, like it happened here, you ask yourself, where was the government? It was there, watching you guys do your job. Okay, do your thing. It could stop it.
But it didn't.
It didn't. And it was purpose. It was by purpose. They don't stop it. So, goonism can be perpetuated by the government or persons in government, or it allowed by the government, and it can also originate from the opposition figures towards the government or towards themselves. I mean, among themselves. So this thing is not about one direction. I had a politician the other day saying, if you vote for Ruto, we will come to you in your bedrooms.
Oh, yes, under the bed.
What did he mean by we? We meant who there? It's him and who else? Okay? You have to ask yourself those kind of questions. When he says that, what anasema nani? Him and who? It means he has a pack of guys somewhere whom he'll use to come for you in your bedroom. So what do you call those? Are they police? No. Are they official security guys? No. It's just anajua ni yeye na nani, isn't it?
Yeah, because he can't say we'll send the police to you.
And he cannot say I will come to you. Anamaanisha wako wengi.
Tutakukujia.
Yes. And hata nimesikia mtu akisema ukicheza na sisi tutaonana, you know. You heard when there was this issue in Nakuru West just the other day. Someone says sasa akirudi atatupata. And you see, this is a guy in Jubilee, Mheshimiwa in Jubilee, telling another person in DCP. Sio ni opposition or
yes.
Sio wako opposition. Na ndio wanaambiana akirudi tena tutapatana. Meaning each one of them has a set of guys they will use.
Yes.
And the government, you see, if there was to be such a kind of a fight, the government would just sit and
let these guys face it off.
Yes, and just watch. So the point I was emphasizing here was that Goonism is not one directional. It's
multi-directional.
Yes. So, but it's unfortunate. We shouldn't be having this kind of even a conversation.
Right.
Because as a country that is democracy now, with a new constitution, we ought to be knowing that everything can be sorted out by this constitution. Everything whatever crisis, whatever differences, they can be sorted out very clearly by this constitution that we have.
Let me ask. So, say I send goons to you.
Yep.
Will it change whatever effect that you have on the population or on the voters? Because at the end of the day, I am sending goons to you so that you don't come into my turf, let me call it.
Yes.
You're not to come to my turf to campaign.
Yes.
To sell your ideologies. And also when I come to your turf, you decide, okay, juu nilikutumanishia pia unitumanishie. Does that change the electorate in any way whatsoever?
It may not. But let me put it this way. You see, at times I may send, goonism and this operation is so scientific, kind of. Mbuvi, I may be myself.
Yeah.
I send goons to your meeting, not because I want to disrupt what you're doing, but I want you to be blamed for it. You get it? We normally say, whose interest is this activity? I may send goons to your meeting.
Yeah.
And put the narrative in such a way that everyone will believe Mbuvi ndio alianzisha hii mambo. Wewe. I can actually, and I have seen this happen, send goons to my own meeting. Okay, I don't know how
and then blame me.
Yes. Nimekuwa nikisema hii all the time. Kuna wanasiasa wenye hujipiga wao wenyewe. They organize the operation in such a way that once we execute this, the blame will go squarely
to the opponent.
To CT, because everyone will believe CT has something to gain out of it. Okay.
Remember, we've had people who have abducted themselves.
Yes, the perception, the perception gets that way. In fact, if you analyze this thing, Mbuvi, you realize that there are almost 10 ways in which I can use goonism for specific target and specific interest and for a specific purpose. Knowing if I disrupt my own meeting, I'll gain more credibility. Let me say this. I have attended meetings where, long time, that was during Moi's time, with the opposition figures then. Tunaenda kwa meeting, that I used to be in the media then.
Yes.
Tunaenda kwa meeting, and the meeting is very peaceful. The police are standing away. They are almost 200 meters just watching. Mkutano wa opposition.
Yes.
Inafanyika na everyone talks. Just to the end, just about the end of it, wanasema, wait, this meeting can't just end like that. We didn't come here for peace. We didn't come here to have a peace. Yes, to have a peaceful meeting. No, not the police.
The politicians.
The politicians themselves.
Okay.
They say, wait, we can't just have this meeting ending just like that. We have to provoke this police. Okay? For them to act. Whether we do it directly or whether we use them in any other way, you can even pay them. Okay, you can even pay them to and you see,
to attack your meeting.
Yes, to attack in quotes, and it happens, and actually it happened. So that's my point. I'm saying you there are almost 10, 12 ways in which you do things with your goons, so that you achieve a certain target or a certain outcome. That may not be very clear to the eyes of the common man. Okay, people will think it's you who was attacked, and they'll blame your opponent, and they'll be hard on your opponent, not knowing it was all your plan, your own plan.
Hey. So, I know this happens. It's yet ni kitu mpya, hiyo story ya kuji-attack, for example, like you've said, or, sending goons so that they disrupt a meeting, and then we know it happens.
Yes.
But now my question is, and you've mentioned that sometimes even the government can just sit by and watch you as opposition fight each other. Then they come and they take the spoils of war. But when it gets to a point whereby people dying,
yes,
people being maimed, like now in Homa Bay, 2 people died, including a police officer. when it gets to that point, can't we say enough is enough, surely? And we just say, perhaps we are taking this thing a little bit too far.
So we here is who, Paul?
We as a country.
That's the question I was about to ask.
Yeah,
you.
we as a country.
We as a country, what? I mean, who is this country?
The country here is the people that, number one, we have given the mandate to protect us.
Yes.
Yeah. So when I say we, I mean collective.
Yeah.
To say even me as a Kenyan now, niseme sitenda kwa political rally, I don't care who it is. Whether it is opposition, government, whether I'm 1 term or 2 term, I'm not attending any of these things until we sort out this issue. Until I see police being arrested, those who probably shoot into crowds. Until I see these so-called mobilizers, aka goons, have been arrested and arraigned in court, and they give up and they tell us it is Wahome who sent me to go and attack CT, or it is Mbuvi who sent me to go and attack. Until something of that sort happens. So we collectively.
I don't know whether movie you have ever watched or listened to what happens when the whole of this thing is happening. You find police armed during a political meeting. The first thing we say is wametutumia polisi kwa mkutano wetu.
Okay.
That's one. When the police are not there, tunasema, okay, when the police are not there and something happens, tunasema ilitendeka, polisi walikuwa wapi? Do you see the contradiction?
Yes.
When the police are there, we don't want them. When they are not there, we say walikuwa wapi?
We blame them.
Now, something happens and people are arrested. Okay, first of all, we say, when there is no arrest, we say there was violence, police hawajafanya anything. Okay? You get now the third position now. When no action has been taken. When somebody or some people are arrested, tunasema wameshika watu wetu. Okay? And you bring them to court. I'll be there myself as an advocate.
Yes.
Arguing seriously. You know, they arrested the wrong people. And these ones are innocent. They should go and arrest the ones who either sent them or the ones who are involved. At no point do we have a specific, we as a people, as a country, at no point do we have one common position as a country to say, this is it. We have nailed it. Sai ukishikwa, hata kama tumekushika umeshika mawe hivi, you are attacking people. There will be somebody who will say, no, you have arrested the innocent CT. Go and arrest
the right person.
Na sai tumemwona ameshika mawe ama akifanya whatever. So if, for example, you are the IG of police, and I'm not here to defend them, other than you being strict on the law and following what the law requires you have so many other people to either please or not please, because no matter what you do, you are cooked.
Your goose is cooked.
Yes. It doesn't. Whatever you do, you arrest people and you actually, you send police to, ukituma polisi waende watawanyishe, inaitaka kutawanyisha mkutano. You know how fast we will cry saying they disrupted our meeting. Peaceful meeting. Have you ever seen a peaceful meeting? Do you know even that meeting where people are killed, it was still peaceful? We have a way of putting it and saying it was a peaceful meeting and police came and shot somebody or whatever. It was peaceful until Mbuvi brought his goons. So when there are goons, we want the police to intervene and break it.
Yes.
Once they break the meeting, we say police wameingia wakaharibu mkutano wetu. So at no point do you have, and that kind of a hypocrisy is what we Kenyans must address. Maybe that's what you're talking about.
That is what I'm talking about, because, okay, that one we can address, but this is my opinion. As we get to understand Mutu Wetu syndrome and why you have done this, you have arrested the wrong person, if for sure police know that Wahome Thuku has hired 60 people to come and disrupt, because I believe DCI has got this intelligence.
Yes.
They know.
Yes.
And these 60 people did not just appear out of thin air. Yes. They came from somewhere, they were mobilized, they were given their weapons. If it is weapons, they were given the money, they were given the money. So we know for a fact these people, kuna mahali wametoka. Mimi kama Paul Mbuvi, I do not have the instruments to understand, to know how to, but DCI tumewa train na tunawalipanga kwa kiganja wafanye kazi. If they come and they arrest this person and they take this case to the very end and they present the evidence and they tell us, look, here is the, like right now they are saying there was a meeting on August 2nd in Homa Bay organizing the goons or the kind of chaos we saw there. If that is the case, they know. They should tell us, iliorganiziwa kwa mheshimiwa Mungala Mbuvi.
Yes.
Na alileta watu 60 na aliwapatia pesa in this way. He withdrew money here, he sent it here and he gave them here. If that happens, hata mimi, even if I am a supporter of that particular person, I would be an idiot to continue supporting that kind of nonsense. We have seen evidence has been presented. Situ nacheka.
Yes, nacheka, because that is you. Do you know that there are people who actually relish this whole thing that we are saying is deplorable? There are people who thrive.
And you mean normal Kenyans?
They are very normal Kenyans. Very normal. Respectable.
I meant common mwananchi.
No. Okay. Respectable citizens, church-going citizens. This phenomenon is something that needs to be studied a little further, because at the heart of it is how we've been socialized into our politics. These people we're referring to as goons refer to themselves as security officers. For people who think highly of themselves and feel that they need protection when they go to the villages, those young people they hang out with, because they tend to be young, that is security. Same group of people, remember, they're in business. When someone else has a different activity for them and pays them, same. Even this very person who had engaged them to be security, should they be engaged by other people? And Banthuka has pointed this out well. They will even act against the other person's interest. They actually do not have sides, so to speak. But they're the same people, especially their leadership, who are confidential informants for the police as well. They are the people who will know what is happening in their regions, who is doing what, and if they are asked, they'll be able to provide information. So it's a network that needs to be studied carefully. It isn't as though they are a sudden, a perchance occurrence. No, they are not. They have morphed over time. All that the politicians have done is they've embraced them. But they were there long before what we are seeing started taking place.
For example, Homa Bay County. We saw what happened. We don't need to investigate all 290 MPs and 47 senators plus their nominated ones. Homa Bay County has a set number of politicians, and they are known. Whether they're in opposition, whether they're in government, whether they're aspiring to be in the positions that they want to be in. You want to tell me, Wahome, we really cannot take a couple of people and just investigate them and know, because there are people with interests that will cause that kind of violence.
Let me tell you this. Number one, even if you knew who organized this and you arrest them,
of which you know, but yes,
okay, and you take them to court and they are free the following day,
yeah,
and they carry on with their politics. Okay, the fact that they organized goons and there was chaos and all that does not mean they are out of the political space. In fact, the other day I said, I think one of the better ways of ensuring this does not happen or you stop it is to bar them from contesting, because at the end of the day, the interest is the political part of it. Okay, without the politics, some of these guys are good.
Yes.
Okay, siasa ndio imeingilia hapo. But let me put it this way. Take Homa Bay, for example. The group that was attacking with their own goons was attacking another group that has their own goons, in so to say. Only that the environment and the space this time and the home ground was different. Okay, at another point in time, the same guys will organize their own, and there will be a hit back, some that kind of a thing.
Yeah,
but you Mbuvi unaongea tu kama mwana Kenya mwenye ni you are a good guy. Okay, you are this guy who wants
this a church going Kenya.
Yes. You are this person who wants peaceful meetings tukuja tuongee hapa. I mean, I'm seated here and this is his constituency, and I can come here and talk bad about him and ask people here to send him away 2027. That is not the Kenya you have. That's different scenario here. There are people who feel, hapa ni kwangu, this is my ground. You don't do this to me when I'm here. And I'll wait. You wait for me in your ground, then when I do this, you do the same. Okay. I don't know whether you can see that picture of that kind of politics.
I am
where we have shared for ourselves regions and even political spaces such that I control this and I don't want to feel that anybody else is intruding. And the way to stop you is to ensure that I use my force to put you down. And then just one more minute.
Yes.
If you look at that Homa Bay thing, I'm sure the government would want to intervene. Most likely there be arrests. There's a situation, as I said earlier, where the government can just sit. If you are opposition and you are fighting amongst themselves and I'm government, why not allow you to first of all exercise your freedom of fighting? Then I can come in at some other time. You see, even the government is political. The government is not... The government per se at a police, when you unasema IG of police, is a political appointee at some point. So this is a political government. It's in a political space. There's an election in 1 year's time. So whatever can make the opposition look bad, we will allow them to look bad for a while. We will sort out this. That's what the government argues.
Even if lives are lost.
Lives getting lost is the consequence. Would I say that it's the the missed, what's the word, when you shoot and you miss? Okay, what
collateral
damage?
Yes.
So, but this is politics. We can say it has happened before many times. It's happening. We are not sure it will not happen again, even with another new government. I was just following the elections in Zambia.
Yes.
The president who is there right now, he has won. He was even one time jailed by the former. Now today he is the one being accused of violating, the rights of the voters and other people and opponents, because it's his time now. Another time will come for even the ones who are complaining now. Yes, and they do exactly the same. We wouldn't have thought that this government would do the things it's doing.
After promising what it promised.
After promising us heaven. There was a time when we were being told the police will just be taking you from the streets and escorting you home to go sleep. Okay? As to whether that happens, Mbuvi is another story.
Oh no, they've been escorting people to the mortuary for sure.
Exactly. And it is not going to happen. It's not going to stop. It never stopped earlier. It's not stopped now. We are not sure it's going to stop. But that is what we are saying. We ought not be discussing this at this point in time, 60 plus years of independence. We should have moved way, way beyond this. But this is the kind of politics we are having today.
IG Kanja. More or less the police, that's what I'm referring to, not Kanja himself, but he's the hold of the office. I feel like sometimes, and I was actually saying this in the first hour, he finds himself in a situation whereby he just looks at it and he's like, Sasa watu, this is a new headache. What do I mean? For example, when you witness what happened in Homa Bay and other places like Kehumbu, when we also had someone who lost his life there, you look at that situation and then as IG Kanja, and we expect him to do something about it. What exactly can he do, surely, with the reality that we are currently facing?
Exactly. The question you're asking is good. What can Kanja do? He has a constitution. First of all, the constitution says that in his operations, he will be directed by nobody. In terms of doing the investigations and all that, and preferring and all that. The only direction he takes is from the DPP, the Director of Public Prosecutions. That's the one who, because at the end of the day, you want to do prosecutions.
For sure.
But in terms of investigations and all that operation, the Constitution gives him absolute mandate. Meaning that he has the Constitution with him. But here you are an IG of police in a political space. In a space where today go to Homa Bay and arrest anybody. Tomorrow we will be hearing all manner of things about you. We'll be hearing how you are discriminatory. We have, the other day we were saying that if someone is saying this and arrested, why can't we arrest Duale who said this other one? Or Sudi who said this, or any other person who said, you see that kind of a mix-up. So when you're an IG, You are now presented with that situation. Do you go for the CS first? Because people are saying you have arrested the MP for Mukoroini here. You haven't arrested the Minister for Health.
Yes.
The CS. So you as the IG, which one do you start? Which one do you go next to?
There's a moral dilemma there.
Yes, there's moral and there's even operational dilemma. You are caught up by in a between the rock and the hard place in a community or society that's never satisfied by whatever you do. So you feel frustrated. I can understand where he is and what he's where he's coming from. He may shout that we will deal with these situations. But behind himself, at the back of his mind, he knows that there is really nothing you can do.
Too. Yes. In other countries where we have independent police, how do they get to the position of their version or the equivalent of Inspector General?
I don't know which country you're talking about, because maybe I don't know whether you're talking about Uganda.
Let's talk about US, for example. Do they have an equivalent of an Inspector General?
Yeah. Who's the leader of the police in the US?
Those fellows, the way they structured their police service is slightly different from ours.
Yes, I think they normally have a state by state.
Yes, and if you have, say, for instance, the head of a police, say, for instance, say in a county, okay, that person is elected.
Yes.
You're talking about the US. A sheriff is elected.
Sheriffs are the ones who are elected.
Yes.
But still, if you are talking generally about
they have commissioners.
The country as the US or even others in Europe and all that, the powers of the police are so vast such that they will arrest you regardless. And you see the people and the law is behind them.
Yes.
And we have that in our constitution. If you were to effectively, I don't know, if you Mbuvi, you are the IG of police today.
Yes.
And I gave you the constitution and I told you, Mbuvi, this is the Katiba.
Action.
And I give you several other laws, penal code and many other laws that prescribe offenses and even the punishment and the process to take.
Yes.
Would you act on that, on those laws? Would you effectively act on them? And you see, the problem we have with our police is that even when they have the constitution that tells them what to do, they do differently depending on time. We tell them that, look, when you want to arrest somebody, this is how you do it, and this is how you inform them and take them here. They abduct people, or they do the opposite. But if you were to use a constitution,
yes,
you as Mbuvi, would you effectively use this constitution given the free hand? If you are to do it, then you would be the US kind of a thing, because our laws and our constitution are very detailed and they are deep. They give a lot. I mean, sufficient mandate.
Yes.
To all these law enforcers. It's only that now put the politics in it, and the guys their hands are fully tied.
Are we then not speaking of the culture that we've adopted over time with regards to our relationship with the law? Because when you have a police service who are subservient to the authority that is directly, or whom they report to directly, and any other that may be political, then the rule of law takes second place. It is not first place. They will know what the rule of the law is. And if that practice is entrenched over time, it becomes the abiding culture. So we have a politicized police force. They know the law, but they also understand that there is room for maneuverability. Now, the problem with that one is you then open a very dangerous door. You allow the police to get into the realm of free enterprise, because now they also become businessmen and women. So they are not subservient to the law or to the state or to whatever it is that they are supposed to do. They are now like ordinary civilians who have authority and who have power. And the outcome of this is what you hear of police uniforms being leased out.
Yes.
Police guns being leased out. Police themselves being hired. Now, that is now the outcome of it. And while we are pointing finger, don't point one. Point the whole hand towards the political class, because they have helped us hurtle along this very dangerous path to the point of where we are. Because if you are a police person and you are in authority and you're constantly being countermanded, you get to a point where you sit back.
Yes.
Or when you do what is right and you know that you may actually be in trouble for doing right, you get to a point you sit back. So you play it safe. Now, when you start playing it safe, what you're doing, you're not being cautious. You're becoming political. Because you now become a politician. And you know very well they've done wrong. Now, until and unless, and this has nothing to do with the police, this is us as Kenyans. If I, as CT Muga, determined that I am not going to bribe a policeman, I've decided to abide by the law. The consequences I will face. Okay? If others did the same, the police would be loath to go around asking or seeking bribe because they'll realize these people are not going to pay you. You ask when you know you will be paid. They are offering you inconvenience at a fee. If you do not want your car towed, or you don't want to go to the police station, or you don't want to be kept sitting in the sun, they have given you a way out. A small facilitation and you are free to go. So which means, what if it was indeed an infraction, you haven't corrected it? If your insurance was not where it was not updated, there is no guarantee that you're going to update it. So look at what becomes of the law.
Actually, this inconvenience thing, let's get away from traffic for a minute. Going to, this is what I've had, me personally, I haven't experienced it, but I've actually seen it happen. You go to the police to report Wahome Thuku, unasema Wahome Thuku walikuja kwa nyumba yangu akanichapa, amenivunja mkono. Before the police come to arrest Wahome Thuku, utambua first of all, facilitation fee, mafuta tuende tukashike Thuku. You have been umeumizwa. But now you're being told for you to seek justice, for you to access the justice that you seek, there's something you need to pay. So you, because you really, really want Wahome to be sorted, to be dealt with, you remove whatever it is that they have asked. Wahome anashikwa anapelekwa station. Na yeye Wahome akiwa huko, anashikwa kidogo alafu anaambiwa anyway, sasa unajua tunaweza kukusaidia, uko na ngapi? Usisahau mimi niko kwa nyumba na ngojea sasa tuende kotini na Wahome. Kidogo like this, Wahome pia ametoa yake, Wahome ameachiliwa. Na namuona tu hapo nje nikibrushman and I'm wondering, but I thought that guy was arrested yesterday. It is, the inconveniences city are just too many. And this country is just riddled with inconveniences on a daily basis. You
don't give up.
I'm not giving up, but yes.
It's about the chicken and the egg. And the city has said it well.
Yes.
Someone asked me the other day, if Wahome, this country was to implement all the laws to the letter, how many days would you stay before going to jail? You'll sit in Mbuvi, you'll be in jail by tomorrow.
Maybe by 8.
Yes, if a government came into place and decided, wait, we are going to ensure the law is followed to the letter.
Yeah.
If you have not paid KRA, whatever. If
you're not tax compliant.
Yes. Everything. If the police were to target you and say, we will deal with you in accordance with the law, in Mbuvi, we have no problem. Sisi nafuata tu sheria. Do you know they'll catch you? And they know it. That's why they commercialize the service. If you look at it, I can say this as a lawyer.
Yes.
The whole process, the criminal justice process is lengthy. Because if you don't give the bribe and now you're taken to court, first of all, you might find very corrupt, even more corrupt system at the court where you thought this is your escape route. You'll find a worse system. In fact, if you are in the upcountry kind of places, the system is so networked such that a police officer in a certain police station or the OCS is very close to the magistrate in that station. Na unajua watu wanakuanga tu hapo karibu. Police station iko hapa. Nini iko hapa Ngong Road.
They're probably on the same, sometimes they're on the same compound.
Yeah, same compound. Or they in small towns, they drink and eat in the same
restaurants.
Yes.
So it is you as a stranger in this network. So you'll be dealt with so ruthlessly, such that you'll not understand what is happening. And I've experienced this because I have had clients all over. You won't notice until you realize that, wait, something is not happening here. Your client amenyimwa, anaambiwa, amestakiwa na Thursday, na you wanted cash bail for your client kwa court. Unasikia maji unasema maji sana I'll make a ruling on Tuesday.
Okay.
Do you know what that means for your client?
Overnight,
the whole weekend he is in. Anapelekwa hiyo police station yenye iko hapo. At some point they transfer them out of that to the nearest remand. You know, by the time you realize what is happening, you unajiuliza, I'm the only stranger in this town. Everyone else knows what is happening. But the point I was making is all that is because of the deficiency in that legal process. Ya kusema ukiletwa hapa utaachiliwa within this time, this is what will happen. The cases from there take years. Leo prosecutor hayuko, kesho magistrate ama judge hayuko, the other day somebody is unwell, the other day the file is not there, those kind of things.
The frustration.
Case kadogo Mbuvi kenye ungesolve tu pale kwa polisi kwa barabara ama even kwa police station, it takes you another 4-5 years. So, and they understand that system and they make it efficient.
No. They have crafted it that way.
Yes, for that reason, for specific that reason. I had a client the other day who called me and told me, somebody is asking me for 100K. Namuliza, amekwambia ni ya nini? Niambia hapana, ananiambia tu mkubwa anataka 100K. So, you ask yourself, who is that mkubwa first? You are supposed to understand the mkubwa ni nani kwanza. So, once that system is rotten like that, for you to correct it, you need to start from very high up, very high, so that you come down to a point where hapa chini mambo yatakuwa yamerekebishwa. Without that, then we are not talking about.
So this is you start from the fish's head, as you like to say.
Yes, you start from there, the fish, and be very sure that unajua hata the head can be rotten. You correct the head, na mkia pia is rotten, so back the rot will go back
up,
whichever ama the mkia you'll feed it to some other fish. They will now become sick. You know, that kind of a circle. That's why I say this as chicken and eggs. Whoever is wrong first can't correct whoever is right.
You know, these things morph over time. And why this has become, well, it has acquired the proportions it has, is because never in our history have we had the youth bulge we currently have. We've never had it because old people are goons, but at a different level. If you're talking about the energetic running, chasing each other, stoning each other, cutting each other with machetes, that one, it is young people who normally engage in that. But the older people fund it. The older people who could actually put a halt to it don't. They encourage it. When you have many young people who don't have, it's not that they don't have jobs. No. They don't have a hope and they do not know what to do next. And they want to do what other people are doing. They want money. This tends to provide an avenue for money. If only where they can sit with others and also order drink like everybody else or say, cola chips. The problem is, if our conversation or the conversation among politicians, and just listen to it now, listen to the din. It's about who has not done what and who has done what and what they cannot do and what we are going to do. You've heard me say this before. In that conversation, there is nothing to do with how the economic situation of those who are downtrodden will be uplifted. You don't hear it at all. It is not spoken of. Somehow it is assumed that when all these discussions take place, the welfare of these people will be taken care of. But it won't. Because you say what you're thinking. You act on what you have considered to be important. The mwananchi whom you're going to purport to represent is not a priority because they're never in your conversation. Nobody's talking about how they're going to make sure the people in the enclave they come from are food sufficient. No, they're not talking about it. They're talking about the politician who wants that seat. They're talking about what he did wrong. They're talking about his wife. Now, that is how we've curated our politics. Then we marvel as to why it is. When you look at the index, the poverty index in this country, people are getting poorer. Those who can't afford even 1 meal a day, the numbers are not decreasing, they're increasing. People talk about the price of food going down. Ugali is not the only thing we eat, okay? So if the price of unga goes down, ask, has the price of tomatoes gone down? Onions? It's called a household index. Everything that you do, if fuel has gone up, it means everything that I do will go up. If the schools require more money and I'm paying fees, it means the little money I have will be divided among all these things. The index. So, if I can't afford life in the city, I take my children home, where it is simpler. What does that tell me? Is my life better? No. And yet the conversation among people who want to tell me that they're going to make my life better has nothing to do with me.
Yes. That's why people call you and ask for 2,000 shillings urgently.
Yes. At 6 in the morning.
At 6 in the Victor Lesasian, situe ni mbaya. Victor Lesasian anasema National Police is not independent. That is why they can't arrest the CS. Majok says the truthful man from Nyeri is not Rigiji but Wahome Thuku. I love how objective you have been on the issue. Morris Andati anasema the word politics is being used as an excuse to allow impunity grow in Kenya. Every time someone identifies a problem and a solution, we see people coming out of the woodwork saying ni politics, but ni ukweli. Alano anasema for this country to attain full constitutional adherence, jaw-dropping procedures must be set. We should all walk the walk, enough of the talk. And then Victor amemalizia kusema a little bit of force has to be used to keep Kenyans in line, and you will be called a dictator for that.
Yes.
Do we need that radical?
Yes, radical leaders. That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
We need that, but leaders who first give people the space to thrive.
Okay.
And they give people that space in accordance with the law and the constitution. Because that's what we have a problem with. If, for example, you are a leader who gets a court order and you ignore it, then you are teaching the country that, look, it's okay to do this. Okay. If you are a leader who, when you are out of power, you condemn police brutality, but when you are inside, you tell us police are not here to kiss you. Then we can judge and say, you guy, ni venye tu hauko kwa power. Ukiwa kwa power wewe
tunakujua.
Yeah, tunakujua. So you have to have one leader or leaders who are consistent throughout. They can be able to say, this is the law and we will follow it. But we need that guy who is radical, not radical, maybe a guy who is strong, a dictator kind of a person who knows that people must be marshaled in some way that is legal. Okay. You don't let everything go. You don't let a high school principal eat or embezzle funds and let it
just like
that. Okay. Everybody to be accountable.
Okay.
But if you are to, that's the question I asked you, if you are to have that leader, who will not go to jail in our country? Who will survive a jail? If you have to have a guy who says...
I think the example we can give is that of Kibaki. That man within 2 years was very unpopular among his own people.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't the sort of person who you are going to go to for a favor of the sort where you think money is going to come from thin air. You'll be told in no uncertain terms that, you know something, what you need to do is go to the bank. The things he did, if we just put the politics aside for a moment, there was clarity. And even people who were close to him, really close and were known to be close, if you were mentioned in something that went against the law, yes, so you knew, here, I'd better do what I am supposed to do. It didn't make him popular.
See, he fired Ruto. He fired Ruto when he was a minister at the time.
Yes. And was it him who fired Ruto? Anyway, it's debatable whether it was Raila.
They said it was Raila who fired Ruto.
Well, Ruto was a Raila minister.
Yes.
Because this was what you call a Nusumukate. Yes. So the person who could fire Ruto was not Kibaki.
Yes.
It was Raila.
Okay.
Yes. Okay, it's Kibaki per law. But it's working together, it was Raila who had to make the decision. Then it's effected by Kibaki. Okay. But still, you don't need one leader to be that.
No.
Even the Kibaki guy, him alone being a guy of strict, adherence to the law, would not manage it if the guys you have around you are not reading from the same page.
True.
You have to have to be sure you have people with you who
like-minded
understand people. What your mission is. like-minded, as he says, so that you're able, you don't have people speaking this way when you are speaking the other way. And I think that's a problem that even Ruto has right now with you remember at one point he said, my people, I don't understand my own cabinet, my own government. I think
I know more than them.
He said they are incompetent. Once the president calls his own ministers and PSs incompetent, then what are you telling Kenyans? That is that people must be reading from you. You lead them, but you are reading from the same page.
All right.
That's the kind of government you want to have effectively.
Wahome, thank you so much.
Karibu.
Na tutakaribisha tena na tena tuongelee mambo haya na mengine mengi.
Asante sana.
Do stand by, because coming up next is Honorable Gladys Bos-Sholei, Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly. Right now though, here is the news.
Radio Generation, the home of urban soul. This is the Radio Generation News.
Good morning, I'm Winnie Maganga. More than 5,000 delegates are converging today at the Kenyatta International Convention Center in Nairobi for a 2-day Kenya Health Summit 2026. The summit is expected to focus on Kenya's health reform agenda, with the discussion centered on healthcare access, financing, primary healthcare, the health workforce, medicines, digital health, and accountability. The forum runs today and tomorrow. Here's PS Oma Oluga.
The summit is a critical point of showing what we've done, some of which that I've mentioned. But the summit is also a place where we listen to you and we get more ideas, because if we have reached this far, how further can we go? And there are three things that are very important. One is that now with the digitized healthcare system, with all this data and information and with innovation, how can we move forward? And I think many Kenyans across the ICT, across AI innovation, across research, we have a lot of information in the Digital Health Agency.
Pedestrian deaths on Kenyan roads decline in July 2026 following intensified enforcement by NTSA and the traffic police. NTSA says 146 pedestrians lost their lives in July 2026, down from 178 recorded in the same month last year. This represents a 17.98% reduction in pedestrian fatalities. The authority says the decline followed increased patrols and compliance checks, targeting road users who failed to use designated crossing points, including footbridges and zebra crossings. A group of activists in Lamu has called on the government to adequately sensitize residents who are likely to be affected by the construction of an oil refinery in the area. The activists want the affected residents to be clearly informed about the compensation process, including how they will be identified and compensated before the construction of the project begins later this year. They say proper public awareness will help ensure that residents understand their rights and prevent disputes.
Katika mradi wowote lazima kuweko na a clear framework ya compensation, including the timelines and the amount ambao wao wataweza kupatiwa kutokamana na huo mradi.
Hatutaki miradi ambayo italetwa katika gatuzi letu iwe ni kuwaumiza wananchi wadhulumiwe kwa kupokonywa ardhi zao, watu wapate madhara ya afya kwa sababu ya miradi ambayo itakuja.
Tupewe time, tufundishwe, tupate masomo, tujue faida zetu ni gani.
The late Gloria Sekeyan Khalwale, wife of Kakamega Senator Boni Khalwale, will be laid to rest this Friday, August 21st. According to the family, her body will be removed from the morgue on Thursday ahead of the burial at the family home in Malinya, Ikolomani constituency in Kakamega County. Senator Halwale announced her death on Saturday, August 15th, saying she had suddenly collapsed and died after suffering a heart attack. Zambia's President Hakainde Hichilema has won a second term after securing about 60% of the vote in the last week's presidential election. The Electoral Commission of Zambia says his main challenger, former Provisional Minister Brian Mundubile, garnered nearly 38%. Hichilema, who has been in power since 2021, faced 13 challengers in the election. And that's the truth on Radio Generation. Good morning, I'm Winnie Maganga.
Sports on Radio Generation.
Good morning, I'm Samuel Otieno. FIFA has parted ways with its chief operating officer Kevin Lamu less than 3 weeks after he reportedly criticized President Gianni Infantino's plan to sell stakes in competitions to private investors. FIFA confirmed that Lamu's working relationship with the governing body ended yesterday, thanking him for his 2 years of service. Staff were informed of the decision by Secretary General Matthias Grafstrom, who said FIFA and Lamu had agreed to part ways. Manchester United have ruled out selling captain Bruno Fernandes despite reported interest from Turkish side Galatasaray. The 31-year-old is entering the final year of his contract. Although United have an option to extend his deal by another year, Fernandes was named Premier League Player of the Year last season after setting a new assist record, while his £57 million release clause for foreign clubs has now expired. And that's your sports update on Radio Generation. Good morning, I'm Samuel Otieno.
Sports on Radio Generation. The views and opinions expressed on this program are those of the guests and do not necessarily reflect the views of Radio Generation. Radio Generation assumes no responsibility or liability for the interviewee's views. This is Radio Generation. In the beginning, there was morning radio. But now there is Radio Generation's The People's Breakfast, curious and bold, getting facts from the shadows.
That's what it is.
Now, as the city wakes and secrets stir, a bright new voice shines. The People's Breakfast. Your morning, your voice, your journey. Good morning.
Good morning, my neighbor.
Welcome to the home of hard truths and bold insights, Radio Generation.
A very good morning to you. Welcome back to Radio Generation. It is now 12 minutes past 8 o'clock and our guest alifika on time. Niliona akitembea akaingia mpaka katugotea akaniambia, guys, relax, I'm here. And we're glad to be hosting the Deputy Speaker for the National Assembly. She's also the woman rep for Uasin Gishu County, Honorable Gladys Boss Sholei. Mheshimiwa, nice to have you for a second time at Radio Generation. Karibu sana.
Thank you very much and thank you for inviting me.
Yes.
You are just I love radio because radio reaches 98% of our people.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mwesha alikuwa anatuambia when we were offered that she is coming from Lilongwe. Mm-hmm. And you said there's something we are hosting, CISPAC or CISPAC. Did you call it CISPAC?
Yeah, the Conference of Speakers and Presiding Officers from the Commonwealth.
What is the significance of this particular event?
First of all, the significance is this is something that's held every year.
Yes.
It has been able to get all the legislatures across the Commonwealth to work together. Yes. So there are two of them. There is the one for the Commonwealth and there is the one for the International Parliamentary Union.
Right.
So what we are doing is that there are some laws that even if I pass in Kenya, it won't help generally.
Yes.
So for example, the Africa Continental Free Trade areas,
yes,
that law.
Yeah,
we want to have an African Union Bank. We want to be able to do free movement because Africa within itself is a huge economy. We can trade within ourselves. But now the challenges that we have is, for example, I'm going to the Gambia. I have to fly to Europe to fly to the Gambia.
Why?
Because we don't have strong airlines. So sometimes we are telling ourselves, with some of the discussions we are saying, does every country have to have a
national carrier?
National carrier? No.
Okay.
Maybe we can have an African carrier so that we can be able to travel within ourselves.
Yes.
But we've allowed the global north to be able to come and take our trade areas. There is also the challenge that why do we have visas for ourselves within Africa? Because if you look at it, today, if I'm going to France, I go to get a French visa. But the French visa is actually a European Union visa, which means I can travel anywhere in the European Union. So it should be the same thing for us. That I apply for a visa to come to Kenya, it means it can allow me to go to South Africa. It can allow me to go to Nigeria, wherever country. So we need to do that because visas were implemented by the global north to keep the global south away from their countries. Now we are doing it against ourselves.
Actually, to come to think of it, we never had this thing called territories. Us, we just had
people just migrated.
No, we had territories.
No, in terms of borders, that's what I meant.
Boundaries.
We didn't have borders. Yes,
boundaries. Yes, that's the way to put it.
We didn't actually have it, but we knew this particular community stays there. But there was always free movement.
Yes.
How do you think community trade was facilitated? There was no free movement.
We were very forward thinking. Our ancestors were very forward thinking.
And so part of this, what we were doing in Lilongwe was part of the CPA, the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association, and we keep on discussing how we can all amend our laws so that they can merge. So that we can be able to do things that help us economically, that help our people in terms of movement, in terms of trade, in terms of employment, and things like that. In terms of even dealing with health issues and so on. So yes, Kenya is going to be hosting the CISPOC in
May of next year.
So I went there to pick the flag on behalf of the speaker.
Nice.
Yes, thank you.
Something that has happened over the weekend, and I was asking myself, and it was on issues to do with development. That dusty road that has been highlighted in Homa Bay. I was asking City yesterday, who is in charge of development when it comes to such issues? Is it the national government? Is it the county government? Is it the local area MP? Because that was really a conversation. Not only Homa Bay iko Yemen. So I don't know when you were in Lilongwe if you had the chance to follow on that particular news, but who is in charge of development of such a road in a county?
Okay, so in Kenya we have the roads are designated to different authorities. We have the Kenya National Highway Authority, KENA. Then we have KERA, which is the Kenya Rural Roads Authority. KERA deals with those. Then we have KURA, which is the Kenya Urban Roads Authority. And then there are those that that the county deals with.
Right.
But also under the members of parliament, we have the national government. Not government. It's CDF. Kenya National Constituency Development Fund.
Yes.
They have some money that they can use on roads, they can use on police stations, so they still help with, because they believe that members of parliament have a on ground sight on the things, the challenges facing their people. So they're able to chip in. Even like if you look at things like the digital superhighways that are being set up, the digital hubs and so on, the NGCDF can be able to put in some money. So it's still part of the national government, but done by different people.
Because I even look at the county that I reside in, because I live in Machakos County. Kuna barabara naangalianga nauliza, hii ni ya KURA, ni ya KERA, ni ya KENHA, ama hii sasa ni, and I never seem to understand. But perhaps maybe one day, one time, I'll map them out so that I can know who exactly to blame for some of the atrocities I'm facing every time I'm going and leaving home.
But I think if you go online, you can be able to find out who's in charge of it. Yes, and also you can ask at any Huduma Center, and they'll be able to tell you.
That information.
Even sometimes, even for me, I have to ask sometimes because I know near my home there is a very beautiful road that has been done coming from Nairobi Road through Ngeria, coming to my shamba when I'm coming from the airport. And then there's a stretch that is not been done. And then after that, after a few kilometers, the road is done. So I came to discover that that particular stretch is under a different authority. So now I know which authority to follow. So kila mtu amefanya kazi yake, lakini kuna mtu mmoja hajafanya kazi yake.
Kwani watu wanaanga kitu inaitwa collaboration?
No, they do. They do, but it might, sometimes it's funding.
Yes.
The funding comes at different times. So I was told that they have funding in this new financial year, but they didn't have funding in the last financial year.
Okay.
Because the other people maybe got the funding earlier. So there is a bit of that, and that's how you manage. Yes.
There's something Senator Cherargei told us the last time he was here, and it was on issues of the budget, the auditing, the reports that Parliament receives. Help me understand, because it's something he said. Was it Cherargei, or I think it must have been Cherargei? He told us that currently Parliament is auditing or looking at reports of budgets that 2021. Did he say that correctly?
That was the case before. That was the case before. The Parliament used to be almost 5 years behind, but that has changed.
How so?
In fact, what has been done now by the Parliamentary Accounts Committee in the previous parliaments was just one committee. But now they've divided that Parliamentary Accounts Committee. There is one that deals with education and social something. There is another one that deals. So we have actually 3 Parliamentary Accounts Committee.
Okay.
Now it's been divided by thematic areas. So that the reason why that was implemented is so that we could allow them to move faster, because one Parliamentary Accounts Committee cannot be able to finish that work.
Yeah.
So that has since changed.
Okay.
And so now they have actually moved very fast.
Yeah.
I, as a Deputy Speaker, one of the mandate that I have is that I am chairperson of the Liaison Committee. The Liaison Committee is a committee of all the chairpersons of the parliamentary committees. So I'm the chairperson of all the chairpersons of parliamentary committees.
Okay.
And what happens is, one of the jobs that I do is to be able to get an update on how far they are going. And I know in the previous parliament, it was a very big issue that they were behind.
In the 12th parliament?
In the 12th parliament. But now, they are ahead of, they are doing very well. In fact, I think they're just 1 year behind now.
So they are auditing 2020 what, 4 or 5?
2025 now. They are on 2025, 2024, 2025.
Okay.
Yes. So I'm hoping that by the time we have a report again, which we're going to have a meeting, I think, tomorrow or today, we're going to have a meeting, and they're going to tell us the update. But they've moved faster.
Yeah.
Yes. And you know, the issue is when you amend the standing orders to divide the parliamentary committee to be several committees, you don't do it for the current parliament. You have to do it for the next parliament. So the previous parliament, even though we flagged it out as a problem, we could only amend the standing committee to come to the 13th parliament. You can't amend the standing orders to affect us. It has to affect the next
parliament.
Yeah, so this time it was amended from the previous parliament to affect this parliament.
Wow.
So yes, that was the case, but something has been done about it.
It's like promulgation, eh? It's weird. Anyway, I'm getting to understand a lot about parliament. This something also that Kenyans have been talking about a lot is on the issue of Vision beyond 2030. I don't think we have agreed whether it's 2060 or 2063, but that issue has really brought out a lot of conversations, something I didn't think was going to be a big deal, but clearly it is. People saying it's a campaign strategy for the government, people saying that why are we talking about Vision 2060 yet, Vision 2030 hata hatujamalizana na hata hatuja audit, we don't know what percentages have been achieved at what point. I don't know. From a parliamentary perspective, where do you stand? What do you think?
You know, let me tell you.
Yeah.
When I have a baby today, I will start planning how that child is going to go to school.
Sure.
I'm going to plan all the way to university. I'm probably going to get an education insurance. I'm going to make sure that
they have medical.
All those things. So if I think about my own child for the next 30 years, why wouldn't I think about my country in the same way? So who is these people who think we shouldn't plan? And let me tell you, as 2030 is coming to a close, we should not wait until 2030 arrives, then we start thinking about progress. We must ask ourselves, what lessons have we learned from Vision 2030? There are some things we've done right, there are some things that have not been done right.
For sure.
So what we tell ourselves is that let's plan for the next 30 years, and we should tell and now planning from an informed perspective, from knowing what we did wrong, what we did right, and what we can do better. That is the reality. If you don't plan, it is insane. I live on Kitusuru Road, and I remember the Red Hill Link Road. the Red Hill Wayaki Way Link Road.
Yes.
I remember when Raila Odinga, the late Raila Odinga, God bless his soul, was the Minister of Roads.
Yeah.
You remember he demolished some houses there. And I live on that street. And I remember Hannington Owori, former vice president, telling the people on that road, and said, these houses were acquired by the government compulsorily in the 1970s, and they had planned to build the Red Hill Link Road in
70s.
Yes. So can you imagine that in 1970 we knew there was going to be a Red Hill Wayaki Link Road? And I remember some people, unscrupulous people, went and managed to get titles for those pieces of land.
Okay.
And I remember Hannington Owori and also Beth Mugo lives on the same street. And Beth Mugo told the people who had acquired that land, I said, you guys, this is a road reserve.
Itakuja kubomolewa.
Itakuja kubomolewa. And they were telling us about things that happened in the 70s. I didn't know about that happened in the 70s. So can you imagine that was the planning? So Kenya has always planned how many years ahead?
30 or so.
So this is not news. Yes, it is the thing to do.
Okay.
Yes.
In terms of auditing, I think Citi shared something with me sometime last week. But I feel like it wasn't really publicized. I felt like I was privy to some very, top secret information, because they were talking about the percentages that we have achieved, for example, on the political pillar, on the social pillar, and economic pillar, I believe. Yeah. And I asked myself, how comes the rest of Kenyans don't have this information? Yeah. Others, were you attending that seminar?
It wasn't a seminar.
Yeah.
It was a briefing. When you have a long-term plan,
yes,
the person on whose watch that plan is crafted, created, understands that that plan will outlive them. So at every phase of that plan, the presidency that comes in ought to continue by telling people what it is that they are doing.
Yeah.
Which fits in with the pillars that particular vision. It was called a vision, but it was a blueprint for a development process that was supposed to start taking us towards the point where we would become a developed nation. Now, what we saw was Agenda 4. We heard of the SGR. You heard of the expressway. You even heard of housing.
You mean the Big Four agenda of the Jubilee government?
Yes. You heard of the Kenya Mortgage Finance Company, and you wondered what this thing was for. If you look at what the plan was within that vision, if you look at the social pillar, very many of these things were part and parcel of what would fit into that particular pillar. They were not pronounced as such, but they were. There were many issues that had to do with housing in the Uhuru government that were taken to court, and they were let to lie fallow. So now, it may be spoken of now that these affordable housing things are a creation of President William Ruto. They are not. He is spearheading the building, the construction, everything that has to do with it, but it is part of the social pillar. And if you look at our constitution, it fits right in with certain fundamental rights that citizens may have. Now, the details of the housing and how and which, that's a completely different discussion, but I'm simply saying that you can fit in anything that you have seen over time. The SGR, I mentioned again, the expressway. Now, they look like, but the SGR got to Naivasha. Yes, it did, but it exists, doesn't it?
It does.
Okay? You need to travel along that road and look at what they did with it. I am fascinated by that passage. What the structures they put up for the SGR to pass through and what have you. What am I saying? The mistake was that the Kibaki government, beyond launching it, didn't set up a structure where the citizenry were informed regularly. The Uhuru government now ignored that one completely and totally.
Actually, during the Uhuru era, I thought Vision 2030 is just one of those white elephants.
It was mentioned every once in a while, and most people thought it was a project. No. It was a blueprint.
Yes, it was.
It was a blueprint. Now, the discussion we're having now, remember, was never had in the year 2008. But further to that discussion, nobody tells you that Vision 2030, though implemented or put into operation in 2008, the process began in 2004. So again, if you were to look at that particular process, and 2030 is about to come to an end, you ask yourself, at what point should we start thinking beyond 2030? It can't be at 2030. It has to be long before 2030. But that, we didn't have a new constitution, we didn't have a 2010 constitution, and there was no public participation. What we are now experiencing is something we've never had before.
Which is public participation.
Yeah.
Yes.
The public is more informed now. And then also, we have more news channels now. I mean, we didn't have as much radio that we had that time. Now we have vernacular radio. People are beginning to understand what's happening in the country.
We have podcasts.
Yes.
People are doing their own thing now.
People are covering. People are doing their own coverage and so on.
Yes.
So I think we are more informed as citizens. So people think it's new. It's not new, because even housing started under Uhuru Kenyatta's tenure, except that they were taken to court, and Uhuru gave up.
To put it mildly, yes. He left it at that.
He left it at that because, and then
young.
it became a bit difficult because remember after the handshake, he went to bed with Kina Atwoli and people like that, because Atwoli was they were saying they don't want money deducted from the employees, so there was a whole trade union issue around it. They went to court. This happened and that. But when William Ruto came into office, he went and he talked to Atwoli.
Yeah.
And he told him how good it is for the country. And eventually they came to a compromise. And that's how eventually we were able to do the
housing levy.
Increase NSSF. Remember NSSF, we used to pay 200 shillings.
Yes.
And then when you retire, you get 100,000 after 32 years of working.
Yes.
I mean, really, what was that?
So you can collect 500 shillings a month.
Yeah. You know?
Yes.
So I think it and that's one of the things I admire about William Ruto is that he was able to go and talk to his own sworn enemy and tell him this is good for our country. Let's work together. And that's how they were able to increase NSSF savings. They were able to increase move to SHA from NHIF. NHIF was only covering people who were employed, which means Mama Mboga could not be covered under the insurance. So those are some of the things that were able to change. So these are not new things. These were things that were in place when Kibaki championed for the new constitution. Very clear things were in that constitution. The right to the socio-economic rights. There is a democratic right, civil political rights. That was something we already got. But the socio-economic rights were the most important because it was right to housing, right to education, right to affordable healthcare. Those are...
It's actually not just affordable, quality, affordable healthcare.
Housing, exactly. Yes. So what is being implemented by the president is actually Article 43 of our Constitution. So some people think it's news. And remember, when he held the Bible, when he was sworn in as president, he swore to uphold the Constitution. Okay. I also swore as a member of Parliament to uphold the Constitution. So all we are doing is upholding
the Constitution.
I think the challenge has been that we have not been very efficient in making sure that we inform Kenyans.
Actually, Mheshimiwa, you are being polite. The government has not been inefficient. No, the government has consistently flopped. Because if on that note they have actually flopped, because it's now one is seeing that there seems to be some attempt, but there is so much that the public could have been informed about these last 3 or 4 years.
4 years.
Yes, I agree.
The people are not informed about. So what then happens is people decide what they are seeing, they make up their own minds, and they interpret it the way they see fit.
Yes. I remember when my daughter told me that she was reading everything about, like last time when we had the finance bill, she was reading all this stuff, and then she said she truly believed what was being said on social media.
Yeah.
Until somebody said they were going to tax cuts, then she now realized, okay, I think this is a joke. So she asked me, and I said, that's not true. So I gave her the actual document. And she just said, but Mom, why don't you guys tell us about this? Because we are reading what's in the social media. So like you said, yes, I agree we haven't done a good job
You've done a terrible job.
Okay.
But so far, I can actually give what is
and
it
that's why
called?
when you invite me on the radio show, I'm happy to come here so that I can be able to explain.
Yes.
Because there's so much that is being done. You know, and when you look at really, and I need people to be able to help us with this. If you explain to people some of the things that are being done, they are very deliberate. Because we ask ourselves, what are the problems wananchi have? When I meet any person in my village, they'll be having problems with school fees for their child to go to college. That's why we came up with a new funding model for university and colleges. And then we did they used a means testing, which was to decide how much you get depending on the means of your family. But some kids were logging in and saying, tunaishi kwa nyumba ya mabati. Another person then they say we have electricity. Or how many acres do you live? 100 acres. But the 100 acres that don't belong to the family, to the parents. It belongs to the grandfather.
It's communal land.
It's communal land. But the child has logged it in, then they are not qualified to get 90% of the funding. So it's been realized recently, and that's what I'm saying, all this it's about a process. So now the means testing has been removed at the moment. Now anybody can just apply.
Yeah.
We've said let everybody apply.
Let it be alone.
Yeah, let's forget it as a means testing. Because the means testing was getting the wrong information.
Okay.
Same thing with the we see the same thing with SHA. You find this lady, she tells me, I can't get I'm being asked to pay 10,000 shillings a year. Somebody else is being told, let's say 300 shillings is the minimum. The maximum you can pay, more. Yeah. But when she did the means testing on the system, she put in the wrong information. Because the fact that you live in a Babati house which belongs to your parents-in-law doesn't mean that's your house. So you actually have no money.
Yeah.
And you also have no house.
And you have no house.
Yes, you have a roof over your head, but
you don't have
a house.
You're being housed.
Yeah, being housed. So those are some of the challenges. And that's why I said that the feedback has been very important because it's being amended as we go forward. Like I remember, we realized that I had women from Wasingishu County, cancer survivors, who came when they told me about the challenge. I said, bring a petition to Parliament. And they brought the petition to Parliament. And they were actually present when I read the petition. And they said about how the money that they were getting, because I think under NHIF, they used to get 400,000 per person. Then now with the social health, with the SHA, they are getting per household. But sometimes you have two people in a household who have cancer. So they were being shortchanged. And they brought that petition. And when the president came to give us the State of the Nation address, he amended that. And he said, it's now going to be 800,000. And they are going to be moved to what they call chronic illness fund. So we are able to make changes as we go along.
Okay.
So, and that's why information from the public is very powerful. Because they are able to tell us what is wrong with the system. And then we can keep improving it. Because when you set up a system, you have it in your mind that this is what works. But it's very important that they tell us. And that's why we rely on you people to be able to let us get feedback. And let me tell you, I was on this show when, remember some people sent a message and said that they didn't get money from HELB.
Yes.
HELB.
It was HELB, yes.
It was HELB, the Higher Education Loans Board. And then they also said somebody else hadn't gotten money from the Higher Education Fund. And I remember I promised on the show that I'm going to call Monari, Geoffrey Monari, who is the CEO, and ask him what's the problem. And I did send him a message, and I think I sent you guys the report back.
Okay.
And I even gave the name of the student who had not gotten funding.
Yes.
Yeah, let me just...
Was it sorted?
It was sorted, yes. Yeah. So he says, and here... He gave me the name. I remember that's the student details. Her name was Esther Musaga, who was at Maseno University. And then he was able to confirm, because I said, good morning. Remember the question from Hanifa about HELB loan. This is an example of a student who applied but has not received the funds. Actually, he reached out after the interview. And he was able to check. It's just that they had not disbursed the money. But later he says the current loan is 230,000 and it has been paid. 115 was paid on 11th of May.
Okay.
And then 114 was paid on the 25th of March.
Okay.
And then he says there's still another balance that's going to be paid.
All right.
Of 367.
The university will receive that money?
Or the university will receive. Yeah, has received. Okay. So there was only a balance that had not been paid, but 2 payments had been made. So sometimes there's a bit of, the financial year.
Yeah.
There's a bit of delay on it. But he actually told me that he called the chancellor of the university and he said, why haven't you, that those students are going to get the money. Why are you sending them home? So there's also a disconnect sometimes with the university.
So as long as I have that help confirmation, I shouldn't be sent home.
Yes, you shouldn't be sent home. And he actually spoke to the vice chancellor of that university.
Okay.
Yes. And then I remember getting in touch with him also. And I said, and I sent him a picture of 3 young men who are doing kibarua at my shamba. And when I talked to them, they actually told me that they are in college. One of them told me that Eldoret Technical College, and they said that, one of them is studying to be a theatre nurse, and so on. And they said they work on the weekends just to be able to earn some income.
Okay.
And then when I told them about help and all, then later I realized that they need to be in a public university so that they can get that access to the money. So I was able to encourage that young man and said, transfer to Moi Teaching, the KMTC in Eldoret, so that you can be able to get the funding. And he actually transferred and he moved with his credits. So there are some things that are happening, but I was shocked that these young people who are very progressive, by the time you get a young person to come and do kibarua kulima, amejituma. Yes, and I was very impressed with them. Yeah, and even I remember after that, I paid for them to register with Boma Yangu. Now, I told them you are going to be able to own those houses.
Good for them. On that issue of help, Bado, so it's a loan that every Kenyan who will have applied for will need to go and pay it back. So will they pay it immediately after graduation or when they get employment?
When they get employed, the moment you get employed. Even I was also on help.
Even I?
Yeah, even me, I was on help. And I remember...
Well, since you're saying even I.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
You're going to go into a boom. But yes, we have all been on help here.
Yes, we have all been on help. And now the thing that President Ruto was able to add is the higher education fund, which is a scholarship.
Okay.
So he added that. So you get that on top of the help loan,
which I won't be required to pay back.
Yeah, you won't be required to pay back. Yeah, okay. And the help has been good. I remember I only cleared my loan when I was at Kenya Law Reports as CEO. But all those years I was just nominally being able to pay. Only when I got a good job, then I decided let me clear the loan.
Yeah, yes. Because a lot of Kenyans were saying that this might actually be a debt trap, whereby you get into that loan help, unapatiwa, unasoma, ukimaliza hakuna kazi, then now you're expected to pay a loan.
No, you can't.
Don't have a job.
No, when you get a job is when you're required. Look at the US. The US, I mean, if you look at Barack Obama and Michelle Obama were talking about it in their books, where they said when they graduated, they had so much debt. They only finished paying their debt after when he became senator. Yes. But they were not able to finish. And then when they wrote when he wrote his first book, is when he cleared his loan. It took him that long.
Yeah.
Yes. So everybody's taking loans, isn't it? Even for you to buy a house today, you'll have to take a loan.
Mortgage, yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So I think I think people need to realize that's life.
You know, Mheshimiwa, the process of informing the public is actually a tedious one. But it's not as tedious as implementing the 2010 Constitution, because even those who seek to implement it, or those whom we think should implement it, we say that forgetting that the 2010 Constitution actually belongs to every Kenyan. It's not the people who have elected to represent us.
Yes.
Now, the implementation in many ways probably goes against the grain of certain things we've been socialized into doing over a long period of time. And some of it is just hardcore law. This is what the law says, this is what we must do. So there's definitely a struggle, but there is a small gap. And the gap is when people understand the benefits of adhering to the law, not just adhering to it, the benefits, that adhering to the law has these benefits. Or when the government takes these steps, this is what it plans to do. And it isn't a one-time statement. I'll give you an example of what I mean. When we had COVID, Mutahi Kagwe, daily, if it wasn't him, it was somebody else, not even once, it was something like twice a day. They'd tell you, fellow Kenyans, and then they'd tell you. You could not claim that you have not been told, even if you wanted to. There was a time we were changing our denomination, this 1,000 shilling note. The Central Bank of Kenya went to town with that issue. Blow by blow, 3 months, a month, a week, they kept at it. You couldn't say you didn't know. And they would tell you what to do with the old notes, how, when. 2 more days, 1 more day, they told you. Now, if you didn't adhere, you don't have that one, it's on you. Okay? Sometimes I think when we have things which are germane and are important, we've already tested. So this particular idea is not something that we need to pilot. We've already piloted it. If we took that approach, it would be difficult for someone to say, I was not told or I did not know. Because there is no government that we've had that can be spoken of as having done nothing. That government doesn't exist. But the narrative that is often heard about this government, that it has done nothing. So I sometimes pause and say, someone has to define this nothing for me, because there are things I see working. If that is nothing, then yes, you could say they have done nothing. If what I see and it wasn't there before is there and they say it is nothing, what am I saying? The idea of ensuring that what the government thinks wants to do and what the outcomes are and the benefits, you can never overstate the importance of how it is a lot of effort. And it can't be the president saying it and then comes when the president says it, that's a launch pad.
Everybody else should pick up from
then it is picked up and then people get to understand what it is that is being said. I remember in the Moi era, when I was a young person, when there were harambes, my memory of harambes was when my grandmother would tell me how the chief came and took 2 of her chicken. That was her contribution to the harambe. Whether the chicken actually got to the harambe is a completely different matter, okay? But it was her contribution, because it was known she had X number of chickens, so she wouldn't miss 2, but she'd report it. If I look at what we are now faced with, this 2027 election, and I'm looking at the political communication that I see from political parties, those who say they're in the opposition, they even say they're united, but they're in the opposition, and those who say that they are in government, okay? Mheshimiwa, 2 things bother me. One, when I look at the Political Parties Act and what it is that it says regarding what people should say, or what determines whether you're a member of a political party or not, I am fascinated that there are people who speak for a different political party than the one that they were elected on. There are people who even say they have resigned from the political party they were elected on. But I do not see what the act says being implemented. I do not hear of the speaker pronouncing himself on that matter. I do not hear
the deputy speaker pronouncing herself.
When I say speaker, she knows I'm talking to her because it's her who is here. Yes.
Yeah.
So
usually when I'm sitting in the chair, I'm sitting as the speaker.
Yes.
On behalf of the substantive speaker.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So why I ask this question is this. Again, so the public would understand. What really is our position when I am campaigning for Party X and yet
I belong to Party Y.
And I'm campaigning, and it's clear the whole world knows, and I even say I'm campaigning for
yes.
What is the position of the law when it comes to this matter?
You know, this has been a very difficult problem in Kenya. Because what happens, like we have a lot of people who are in UDA and they have defected. Defected
to different parties.
To different parties in all their actions. Yeah. But the problem is, we've seen in the past the people who have been very hard on their political parties has been ODM. ODM, watu walikuwa napata barua in the morning. You get a letter telling you disciplinary action, show cause why you should not be removed from the party. But what do? They rush to court. Then once they rush to court, there is nothing that then it stays in court until the next election. So that has been the challenge. And you've seen, that's why many parties have even decided, even if you take disciplinary action on these people, once you pronounce yourself as because we have a tribunal in the political party, once they take action against you, you go to court and nothing has been done about it. So I think...
So the problem is in the courts?
No. The problem is political parties have realized, even if I discipline this person and say I'm removing you from my party, they go to court. That court case will delay until the next election. So it's futile. So that's why you see many political parties have ignored.
I understand that, but you see...
Yes. So there is a bit of indiscipline with our political parties.
That is not a bit. That is a lot of indiscipline.
Yes, there is a lot of indiscipline. So until we find a way where we know it can be resolved by the courts immediately. So the problem is the delay with the courts. Even today, if I want to stop you from doing something, I'll just go to court. And I know I'll sit you in court for the next 5 years.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can do. In fact, that's how we dealt with the issue of... remember in the past... political people who are petitions, election petitions.
Right.
Remember, there was sometimes election petitions would last the entire 5 years. So you'd serve your full term while the matter
is in court.
Until the next election. That is why we made amendments to the Elections Act. And I was in the Electoral Commission, the Interim Electoral Commission, when we made those changes. And we said they must be completed within 6 months.
So why can't we have something similar? We say, look, we conclude this in maximum 2 weeks, because we can see Mheshimiwa Mbuvi ndio ule pale. Mbuvi ni huyu. Mbuvi alikuanga UDA. Anatoka UDA vizuri tena sana. Ameingia chama cha Mapinduzi. Na mnaona vizuri sana mpaka nimeanza kuvaa kofia zao. I'm wearing their fatigues. You know, I'm going with their party leader everywhere. And I'm even talking bad about UDA.
Yes.
So mnaona it's there.
Yes.
What is so difficult about just saying bwana huyu jamaa si
No, and those are the things, and those are some of the discussions we've been in the Justice and Legal Affairs Committee that we've been talking to the judiciary, because the Chief Justice can even put what they call practice directions. She can say for certain cases there is a time frame.
Yeah.
Because you can't just delay.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it doesn't take only the parliament, doesn't take the political parties. That's why we all have to work together as the three arms of government to come up with a solution. And it's an issue. And what I always say is the good thing with Kenyans, they start seeing a problem, they complain, one day we'll find a solution. So I believe we shall come up with a solution.
But I'm a dog with a bone on this one. I'm not letting go of that easily. And I'll tell you why I'm not letting go of it that easily. Some people resign. So it's not you trying to get rid of them. They have said they have resigned.
They won't resign because you lose your seat.
But that is what that's what.
But we haven't reached that level of maturity. In other countries, people resign.
Oy.
Have you seen Kenyans? We don't resign. We hang on. We hang on until
we do.
We hang on until the last minute. And that
no,
but also think about it.
Yes.
You know, this is also historically.
Okay.
If you look at it, if you look at Kibaki, Kibaki first ran on. Which party did he run on?
When he was... It was
NAC.
No.
The National Rainbow Coalition.
No. Kibaki was in DP.
Yes.
Yes. Then...
When he ran as president on NAC.
That is... When he became president...
He was under NAC.
He was under NAC. Yes.
And before he finished his 5-year term...
PNU.
He had moved to PNU.
Yes.
He moved from his own party where he was president and moved to PNU. And his second time he ran in PNU.
So essentially he should have resigned even as president.
Then Uhuru Kenyatta ran on TNA. Isn't it? Even President Ruto. He ran on a joint ticket with Uhuru Kenyatta.
Jubilee.
No, on PNA.
Sorry, TNA. Yes, TNA, you're right.
Yes. He was a URP, but to run with the president, he was in TNA. Then, by the time they were running for their second term, they had moved to Jubilee. Exactly.
Then from Jubilee, he ran on a UDA.
Then, by the time we were running for elections in 2022, we had moved to UDA. We set up the party 1 year before elections.
But
and we
you-
moved to,
No.
and we moved to. So let me tell you, the whole thing of political parties. That's and I say every Kenyan. I mean, Kenya is unique. When you tell this to other people, like the US, they are shocked because in the US you are born a Republican or
You
a
die a
Democrat,
Republican.
and you die a Republican. You can even say that family ni watu wa Republican, mnajulikana.
Yes.
But Kenya, actually, political parties are almost a vehicle. And it's one of the stories we are trying to change with UDA at the moment. That's why we are trying to say that let us try and have a political party that is across the country, that is not a tribal party, that is a national party. So you can see what UDA is trying to do is work hard towards that. So we are trying to change that narrative.
Will the president run on a UDA ticket?
Sorry?
President Ruto. Will he run for a second term on a UDA ticket? Because venye tunaona lately bana, ile design watu wanatoka huko, it's a very how can I put it? I'm trying to look for polite words. Wanatoka mbio sana basically.
But how many people have left? I mean, how many people?
Mount Kenya.
What? Yes. What's the
Mount Kenya
membership?
West.
You know.
No, I think what's going to happen is many people will leave.
Okay.
That's true. Because what we know is that there are some people who say we respect President Ruto.
Yeah.
We have great admiration for him. We give him support. But if I have to secure my seat, if I have to win, I have to move to another party.
Okay.
Because UDA ayuziki kwetu. You know, there are people who've made that decision. So there'll be people who will have decided that, and so that's what will happen. It's not an indictment on President Ruto. It's actually just that people are thinking, I need to secure my seat, and that's why there's coalitions, and and politically, people have to get into coalitions. If you remember, we had the Rainbow Coalition. Then we had the NASA coalition, we had the Code coalition, then we had the Kenya Kwanza coalition. So coalitions are something that people do politically. If you go to Europe, they can never attain a majority. In South Africa, they have the government of national unity. ANC had to go to bed with the DA party, which is basically the white people's party.
It's basically a white party.
It's a white party, yes. But they had to do that. So sometimes, in order to be able to govern the country, in order to be able to implement the programs you want for your people, sometimes you've got to go into coalitions. So coalitions are normal to happen.
Yes.
And it also shows that it's a mature democracy. Because by the time you see that, when you see that the election is close, it means that politically people are aware. Yes.
ODM wamesema wanataka deputy president position. Where does this put UDA now? Because as far as the rest of us were concerned, we knew President Ruto already has a running mate in the name of Professor Kindiki, but now spanners are being thrown into the works, and we are seated here. I was actually telling CT the option that Prof has is actually joining ODM, so that now ODM can present him as their presidential candidate, and of course subsequently as their running mate.
No, I think some of those remarks are made in jest.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
And I also think, you know, when you're negotiating politically, you got to push a bit, you know, give a few, say no, throw a spanner in the works.
Yeah.
Then that's how you negotiate. So it's part of negotiation. But I think that is something that will be set at a very high level. It's not something that can be said in public. It's something that they will sit down at the table and see what comes with it. Have a conversation, yes. So I don't think anybody should take that too seriously. Yes.
Hey, you should know how it's taken seriously in some of these conversations
I'm going to ask you
that
a
we're
question,
having here.
which will probably lead on to the next hour, Mheshimiwa. UDA, you say, is organizing itself nationally. So, what are you saying? Is it that they're creating structures?
Yes.
Is it that they are mobilizing? Is it that they are adhering to the norms of the constitution of that party? Is it that they are adhering to the norms of the dictates of the Political Parties Act? What exactly are they doing?
UDA has had grassroots elections.
Yes, they have.
That was, you remember last time when UDA was established, we had no time for grassroots elections. We just had volunteers who were running volunteers at grassroots level, the coordinators, the ward coordinators, and so on. But this time, they've actually had elections. And we've had elections in more than 30 counties. I know that even Lamu is being repeated. There was grassroots elections. It was bungled up a bit, so they're repeating it. So that is part of the, for a party to say we are doing it nationally, is you have to have elections at grassroots level and have officials who've been elected up to the ward level. And that is what we have done now. That is the kind of mobilization that you do. Yes. Because if you look, because you have to have structures up to the ward level and polling station. Right now, in over 30 counties, at least 30 counties, UDA has had elections at ward level. They've had elections at polling station level, at county level. So that is what we are doing.
We're taking a short break. We get into the news. When we come back, I shall sample some of the questions that we have here on our social media space as we continue with the conversation. Deputy Speaker ako hapa na sisi, woman rep wa Uasin Gishu County pia. So let's get into the news. When we return, of course, the conversation continues.
Radio Generation, the home of urban soul. This is the Radio Generation News.
Good morning, I'm Winnie Maganga. Advocate of the High Court Wahome Thuko has raised concerns over the growing organization of political goon networks in Kenya, warning that they can be mobilized to serve competing political interests. Speaking during a Radio Generation interview today, Thuko said the groups can be hired to disrupt meetings, provoke violence, or manipulate public perception. He said holding them accountable requires investigators to establish who recruited, financed, and deployed the groups.
If, for example, you are the IG of police, and I'm not here to defend them, other than you being strict on the law and following what the law requires you have so many other people to either please or not please, because no matter what you do, you are cooked.
Your goose is cooked.
Yes, it doesn't. Whatever you do, you arrest people and you actually you send police to. Ukituma polisi waende watawanyishe, inaitaka kutawanyisha mkutano. You know how fast we will cry saying they disrupted our meeting, peaceful meeting. Have you ever seen a peaceful meeting? Do you know even that meeting where people are killed, it was still peaceful? We have a way of putting it and saying it was a peaceful meeting and police came and shot somebody or whatever. It was peaceful until Mbuvi brought his goons. So when there are goons, we want the police to intervene and break it.
Yes.
Once they break the meeting, we say police wameingia wakaharibu mkutano wetu.
A peace charter could become a requirement for political parties ahead of the 2027 general election, under proposals being considered by the National Cohesion and Integration Commission. NCIC Chairman Bishop Kefa Nyamwea, speaking on Citizen TV, says the commission is engaging election agencies and political actors on measures to promote peaceful campaigns as political activities intensifies. The proposed charter will commit parties to peaceful conduct and discourage actions that could trigger violence.
We have come up with what we called a roadmap for the violence-free elections 2027, where we would want all the stakeholders to be involved in this engagement. And at the end of the day, what are we going to do? We are going to sign a peace charter. Every political party is going to sign a peace charter. We are in discussion that anybody who is going to vie for any electoral post must be cleared. By who? By NCAC, by the Office of the Registrar of Political Parties, and IEBC might be the last one to clear or rather to approve before anybody is considered or approved.
Kenya is strengthening its cancer care system with a focus on early detection expanded treatment capacity and wider access to services. Principal Secretary for Medical Services Dr. Muga says cancer care should be integrated across all levels of the health system, from prevention and screening to diagnosis and treatment. Speaking at the Nairobi International Cancer Forum, Oluga said the Social Health Authority should finance the full cancer care pathway, including treatment and palliative care. Northern Cameroon is battling a cholera outbreak that has killed 28 people and infected more than 1,000 since mid-July. Health workers are on high alert as they race to contain the disease before heavier rains worsen the situation. At Mora District Hospital, suspected and confirmed cases are being treated under strict measures to prevent further spread. The facility received its first case on July 18th, involving a 3-year-old child from Isa. And that's the truth on Radio Generation. Good morning, I'm Winnie Maganga.
The views and opinions expressed on this program are those of the guests and do not necessarily reflect the views of Radio Generation. Radio Generation assumes no responsibility or liability for the interviewee's views. This is Radio Generation. In the beginning, there was morning radio. But now there is Radio Generation's The People's Breakfast, curious and bold, getting facts from the shadows.
That's what it is.
Now, as the city wakes and secrets stir, a bright new voice shines. The People's Breakfast, your morning, your voice, your journey. Good morning.
Good morning, my neighbor.
Welcome to the home of hard truths and bold insights, Radio Generation.
Good morning and welcome back. It is now 5 minutes past 9 o'clock. This is the last hour. Promises to be the best one thus far. Robert amesema, those making noise about 2060 know it's more about politics than the reality of where our nation should be heading. Couldn't agree more with CT's perspective. Kuna mtu mwingine amesema, I'm looking for this. There was a question here by an engineer, I think it was. Come on. I think I've lost. No, here it is. Engineer Bosset. Engineer Bosset is asking, my name is Engineer Bosset Jep Chirchir. Ask her what's her thoughts on this political shift and gap on the young and old, pre-tech politics and post-tech, and what's Parliament doing to incorporate all. I don't know if I've understood that question. Have you understood it? Mm-hmm. Let me repeat it again. Mm-hmm. My name is Engineer Bosset. Ask her what's her thoughts on this political shift and gap on the young and the old, pre-tech politics and post-tech, and what's Parliament doing to incorporate all. All right.
Maybe they're talking about technology and modern changes that we're making. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm thinking.
Okay. Mm-hmm. What would you say about that?
No, I mean, if you look at part of the agenda of the government is promoting the digital superhighway,
yes,
and the creative economy. And the whole point is to harness digital opportunities. That's why we're trying to bring in. Remember when the president went to the Silicon Valley, and he was trying to negotiate for Microsoft to come, for them to be able to come and create digital jobs.
Yeah,
getting the business outsourcing opportunities to come to Kenya for our young people to be able to get those jobs.
Yeah.
So that is actually on the better plan. It's part of
the
bottom-up economic
transformation agenda.
Yes, and if you see that the promotion of having digital hubs, in fact, I think the point is to have a digital hub in every county and every constituency. So many of the constituencies now have been able to do that.
Yeah,
I know that I did work with the Huawei in Uasin-Gishu County, and they brought a digital truck. So it was a truck that had 20 students.
Yes,
and we moved from county to county, just teaching them how to be able to harness those opportunities. So yes, that is it's one of the main pillars of the plan.
Nyota Fund, by the way, how are we able to see how it has performed? Because si tulifanya, I think, phase 2 juzi.
Yes.
Are we able to tell how phase 1 has fared?
Oh, it's yes, and and that's the thing about Nyota. That's different from other funds, because Nyota, first they train you. Then you give your own proposal of what you want to do. Then you're given some funding. And I remember when we had it in Wasingishu recently, there was a young lady who came on stage to tell her story. And she said she used to work for somebody who sells coffins. And when she said that, everybody laughed. Because she was asked, what business do you do? She said, nauza jeneza. Watu wakacheka.
Okay.
But when she told us, she said that she used to be a salesperson. So she'd find out if there is a funeral committee, she goes, pitches to them, we sell coffins, then she'd be given a commission. So she said when she got the Nyota funds, she had written a proposal to say, I want to buy my own coffins so that I sell mine. So akapata hiyo 25,000, akanunua kama 5 coffins. Then she sold them. She made more money. Now she has a shop. And I was looking at that girl, everybody, people are like, you're not scared of death and what? She said, Mimi, I've been through hell. I was married at a young age.
Yes.
I was a teenage mother. I suffered. That marriage broke apart. And after that, I became hardened. So I needed to do anything to survive, to raise my children. And when I listened to her proposal, she wants to set up her own morgue. Her own funeral home. That girl is going places. When I listened to that story, then there was a guy who said what he was doing is that he used to like sell things. You know, these wares, hawker for people. You know, the people who have those shops, they give you, go and sell water, or they give you to go and sell power banks or whatever on the street.
Yeah.
He used to do that. Now, he got the Nyota funds, akaenda kununua zake. Now he's not hawking for somebody else. The profit ni yake. You know, so it was inspiring to just listen to the stories of the kind of businesses that they were doing. Another one said, mini MC. So when I go and MC, I normally have to hire the loudspeaker,
system,
the microphone, na kila kitu. Akasema nikapata hiyo Nyota funds, nimenunua zangu. So now, akienda kwa somebody, he's charging not only for his fees, he's also charging for the equipment. And so he says, the next funds I'm getting, now I want to be able to get a tent, the VIP tent, na stage. Alafu sasa, when I go to the function, I'm going with a stage, I'm going with a VIP tent.
I'm going with my own podium, basically.
Yes. I mean, it was inspiring. Just listen to these young people, how they came up with...
They're innovative.
Can I ask? There's a department.
So Nyota has been a very extremely successful project. And I think now that it's got a lot of success, even this time in this new financial year, they've petitioned for more money in Bunge, and we're going to give it to them because it's creating jobs, you know, and so those are the things that change lives.
What has made a difference with this Nyota fund? What have they done that other funds have not done?
You see, with Nyota, they did the training. You know, with Hustler Fund, we just gave you the money, but we didn't train you.
So you give the money.
So with Nyota, you were trained, and then you had to do a pitch. Your own, what business do you want to do? And then based on the creativity and the potential success of your business, you got the money. So that has been the difference. And in fact, now I've seen that the Nyota Fund is actually the way to go. And I've seen that also with the national government affirmative action fund under the women representatives from the various counties. I've seen it, the success stories. Young people are saying, si tunafanyanga kwa mjengo. Then I tell them, then they said, what would we help you with? They said, tunataka ile nini cement mixer. Because now they can pitch for bigger jobs. Because wakienda kwa mjengo, wanaenda na machine yao.
Yes.
They asked for vibrators.
The ones that break the ground.
Yes, the one that compacts the cement and everything.
Okay.
So we are giving them vibrator machines. We are also giving them, what do you call, ile balloon ya kutengeneza culvert. So that they can now, wanaweza kupitch for kazi ya kujenga ya kura, wakiwa na kajob, kera, unawapatia kajob. So I have young people now who are working in affordable housing in Wasingishu County because we've given them that equipment to be able to help them. And then there are others who said, I trained as a plumber. But now I want to get jobs, but I don't have the plumbing equipment tunawanunulia ile ka box yenye iko na toolbox. They are able now move from house to house doing those jobs.
Okay.
Another one is I studied electricals in Polytechnic. What they just need is to have the equipment. They have the know-how, but now when they leave college, they don't have the equipment. So we buy them those machines, and they're able to do it. Mwingine anasema ni mechanic, tunamnunulia ile toolbox. So others say mimi nilisomea agriculture. Nimesomea vitu ya mashamba. So they are saying I want to look after chickens. We buy them the incubator machines. And those incubator machines, they are able to do their own day-old chicks.
Okay.
And when you think of the mathematics of it, I know that so there are others who just do the day-old chicks and sell the day-old chicks to people.
Okay.
Somebody else takes the day-old chicks, looks after them for 4 weeks. After 4 weeks, they sell it for 250 shillings. 100 chicks, that is 250,000 in 1 month. Then you do another round. Can you imagine what that can do? And so I think the preaching that we should do to young people is that you can actually make money just by being self-employed. But the challenge has been they've not had access to credit or just a little support. But many young people have great ideas.
Okay.
So I went to visit in Moiben. I went to visit a team of young people. There are 10 of them, and they look after the day-old chicks. And then when
these are beneficiaries of the Nyota Fund.
No, these are from the National Government Affirmative Action Fund that I do. But also there is the others have benefited from Nyota Fund also. But it's Nyota Fund and those kind of funds is what young people need. Because they have very great ideas. Another person is saying, I'm a singer. Lakini nataka kwenda kulipa studio. Because if I can pay at the studio, then I can put my music, I can put it online and so on. And I was surprised. Some of them just needed 6,000 shillings. Aenda kurecord kwa studio. So what our young people need is just to be able to have access to some boost money. And they will be self-employed.
Okay.
Yes.
You know, I remember when this whole idea of Nyota Fund ilianza, a lot of the questions that we were asking ourselves here in the studio, of course, even our audience walikuwa nauliza, sasa ukipatia mtu 22,000, 50,000, atafanya nini?
Have I told you that the MC who has now bought a microphone?
Yes, you have.
And a Ndindi. I've told you the story of the guys who got the day-old chicks. Na wakachunga for 4 weeks wakapata 250,000. I've told you about the musician who wanted to record her music, and she told me it's 6,000 shillings that she needs.
You're right, because I was among those guys who was asking, hey, 50K, surely 50K.
Let me tell you, I am amazed at even I asked myself, what can they do? But when they tell you the ideas of the things they can do, and this I'm telling you from here to there.
Yes.
I'm telling you there's musicians, there's somebody who's recording music, there's an MC, a local MC, etc. They are able to do that.
Okay. Ombati Stephen is asking, why is it that there hasn't been, why is it there isn't a law yet for the recall of MPs? We can recall our governors, we can impeach our president and the deputy, lakini tukichoka na Gladys Boss Sholea tuwezi mtoa kwa kiti. How come?
That recall law has been in litigation. Yeah, so there's been delays with the litigation and so on. But like I said, I've seen Kenyans, they push for something, eventually it will come to pass. Even campaign financing. Remember campaign financing? It became a very big issue. People, it went to court. It's still, now it's finally come again. We don't know how far it will go. But, and that's why I believe things don't happen overnight. It's a process. It's not an event. Because Kenyans will litigate about it. And I like Kenyans because they go to court over everything. Eventually the court pronounces itself on it. Like public participation. How many times were laws were nullified? Parliamentary laws were nullified because we didn't have public participation. The court pronounced itself until the other day we've passed a public participation law. Yes.
So basically, the moment this litigation process is done, and remember we've just said here that sometimes inaweza kaa kotini until kingdom come.
But the good thing is it will come finally. Yes.
No matter how long it takes.
Yes, no matter how long it takes. Even our constitution, you know our constitution, how many years it took? I think you were not even born.
How long
it took
did it
20 years.
Okay.
20 years.
Before 2010.
Before 2010.
Yeah.
It had taken, in fact, it was more than 20 years. It started from the times of Moi. It went on. There was the Guy Commission. Then
people only remember 1992. They forget that was a watershed moment. But that discussion had begun long before then.
Yes.
Yes.
Even think about the way one of the credits you can give the late Raila Odinga is actually the fighting for multi-party democracy. It went on and on and on, and finally, in 1992, Moi pronounced himself and said, President Moi announced and said, nimetoa section 2A. Lakini hakutoa section 2A, it was parliament that did it, but he pronounced himself on it. So, if you look at every generation in Kenya, if you remember, when people talk about the young generation now in Kenya, and what is it they're asking for? It's not the first time the young people are asking for something. If you look at Mau Mau, was the young generation of that age.
That era.
If you look at the Nandi resistance, against the railway, and when they killed an entire age group, those were the young people of that age. In fact, that age group was removed from the Nandi community completely. We don't have it anymore because of that, because they were killed. All of them were killed. They were the warriors of that age. If you look at when Kina Raila Odinga were the young Turks, they were very clear. They wanted a new constitution. They wanted multi-party democracy. They were very clear. When you got President Ruto was in the Youth for Kanu, 92. They were very clear. They were the new generation moving to a multi-party democracy, steering their party to move to multi-party democracy. It's every generation has asked for something. And you remember then after that, we had the Martha Karua. At that time she was called Martha Njoka. Yes. The Kina Anyona, whatever. They were the treason trials that we had. They were fighting to have a new constitution and multi-party democracy. So it's every generation has asked for something. It's taken time, but it has come to pass. Don't we have a new constitution now?
We do.
Don't we have multi-party democracy?
We do.
Until we have political parties that are misbehaving?
Yes, we do.
Yes.
And politicians misbehaving. Muhesh, I just want to understand, because we are now getting to that point whereby people are saying that, hii kitu ni yetu, then of course there's the one term versus the two term brigade. I want to understand President Ruto's support iko pande gani? Because what we saw in Olkalau, a lot of the headlines were saying the mountain is gone. So I don't know, from a UDA perspective, from people who support President Ruto for re-election, support ya president iko wapi?
I think Olkalau was not a referendum against William Ruto. What happened in Olkalau was it was a mismanaged campaign by our own team members. In fact, I've been telling people that Olkalau was a textbook on how not to run elections.
Okay.
And how not to run a campaign. It's if you look at it, everything what was done there was not correct. And people don't remember what you did for them. They remember how you made them feel. So when you throw gas cylinders to everybody,
mattresses,
mattresses, blankets, who told you they wanted those things? I know during the last term of parliament, we had what we call Inua Mama, and we used to give out gas cylinders. But what we used to do is that we used to give it to Mama Pika, the ones who are frying fish on the road, pikaring chapati, wanapika chakula kwa mjengo. It's a business.
Yes.
So that woman is going to be able to refill that gas because she's doing it as a business. So those are the target groups that you give gas cylinders. You don't give it to everybody. Not everybody is interested in a gas cylinder. When mattresses, I give out mattresses and blankets in Wasingishu. But what do? I give it out in areas where there is bed bugs. So we do fumigation. Tunatupa all their beddings. Tunawapatia fresh beddings. Ama pali kuna jiggers. You clean up the place. You give. So you have to decide who you're giving. But this giving one size fits all, it was not good. Even the manner in which they were giving out, I saw on the NTV, the way they gave out, they were giving out money.
Yeah.
Ati unashika watu watatu na sukuma unawapatia 1,000. Those people don't even know each other.
Yeah.
Why would you give people money in such an undignified way? You're insulting them. Because those people have pride. Ask, because if you want to find out, maybe people wanted seedlings.
Why would they be given money to begin with?
That's what I'm saying.
I know money is good, but...
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It was mismanaged.
Okay.
Yeah. And that one, it's painful for me to admit, but...
It was mismanaged.
It was mismanaged.
Okay.
It was... So, eventually, you leave a bad taste in people's mouth. So, it had nothing to do with UDA being unpopular. It is the manner in which we conducted the campaign as UDA. And then, also... I mean, when you bring people from outside the county to go and manage the elections, people get annoyed. People don't like to be managed. Utumia watu wa hapo.
Sijaelewa your point. I thought AIBC was managing the election.
No, I'm saying our campaign.
Oh, you mean the folks that came from all over the country, UDA to come? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
You should use the locals. Yeah? Let the locals manage their own elections, because that's how they are sensitive. Politically, people are sensitive. They don't like you to bring watu wa nje to come and manage them. It's like me taking somebody from Nairobi, aende Wasingishu kufanya elections to campaign for me. You must use
the locals.
Hata ukienda Langas, unajua watu wa Langas ndio. Hata kama unahitaji security, tumia watu wa Langas. Ukienda Huruma unatumia watu wa Huruma. Ukienda Inapkoi unatumia watu wa Inapkoi. Lakini usiwaletee watu wa nje.
Yeah.
So now when you bring, you're even importing goons from which part of the country and you're taking them there. And that's where DCP beat us. Because DCP, if you think who was running the election of DCP, it was Methu and the candidate.
The locals.
Sisi tunaanza kuleta watu kutoka wapia, so we mismanaged it, as painful as it is to admit.
Now, and even on...
I'm being too honest. I think I'm not allowed to be
No. We're the home of hard truths and bold insights.
The whole purpose of a discussion such as this one is for the public to be informed in whatever way. Truth-telling is probably one of the best ways of informing the public.
Yes.
Because it now speaks to the person who is speaking. Yes.
Yeah.
Now, on that election day, we also saw some issues that I don't think we've gotten answers to date. I think perhaps even the issues are still under investigation. The kind of drama we saw, the chaos, the Prados, the guys shooting in the air. What was all that?
No, like I said, I was not involved in that election. And rightly so, because for me, I just said I'll lend support to the people from there. My friend Faith Gitau, the woman representative there, I just told her whatever support you require, we'll give you the support, but off-site, because I'm not from the area.
Yes. That was smart.
Yeah, and but when I did look at what happened with the shooting of the guns and things like that, that is wrong. That is wrong. And I'm hoping that IEBC has, because that's the responsibility of IEBC, to make sure that doesn't happen. And I'm hoping that they will resolve it before the next elections. Because if we have gun shooting across the country, we're going to have a civil war. So that is unacceptable.
Yeah, it's going to be a very chaotic general election.
Yes, and we are hoping, we're expecting that the IG, etc. I was surprised that the media was able to get a very, I mean, it was a very well done investigative journalism.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that the police can do a better job and be able to bring those people to book.
Yes.
Because if we allow that to happen during the general elections, we are in trouble. Remember, that was concentrated in one place. So that was disappointing. And somebody who's been an electoral manager Yeah, I'm part of the network of electoral managers across the world. It's completely unacceptable. And I could see even in our group, what people were commenting. They said Kenya has so much democratic space. They didn't expect Kenya to behave like that. So that was a bit disappointing. Yeah.
Back to the whole issue of support here, President Ruto. So you're saying that he still has the mountain, or do we have a percentage for what he has in the mountain?
We'll get a percentage of the mountain. We'll get a reasonable percentage. But also there's been, we've seen what we've lost, we'll be able to gain by getting other parts of the country. So I think he'll have a clear win. I'm not worried about it at all. I can tell you confidently.
A clear win.
Yes, we'll have a clear win.
So because from what I have heard, mimi sikwangi political, sikwangi na hiyo political.
Atiwe ku political na hapa unani question, unaniuliza maswali ngumu.
What I'm not a political genius.
Really political.
But I want to understand.
Yes.
In terms of support, for example, I hear the country is being divided. Northeastern. There's Ukambani. Of course, there's the mountain region. Then there's mountain west and mountain east. Then there is, of course, the coastal region. Where can you say right now President Ruto has got like clear and questionable support?
No. I think President Ruto, first of all, I must say, is running against President Ruto. He's running against himself and his track record. That's his opponent.
Yeah.
And when you look at his track record, when you listen to the forgotten parts of Kenya, the northern part of Kenya, the fact that they've had a road, the fact that there's been a stadium built there, that we've even had Mashujaa Day there. The people there are like, we finally have a government. Remember there was a time they used to say, natoka Lodo anaenda Kenya. Natoka Mandera anaenda Kenya. Today they feel they're part of Kenya. If you think about, so I'm saying the progress alone, the work that he has done is going to change that.
Is that enough?
Sorry?
Is that enough to convince people to vote for him?
Yes.
Why do you say that?
I say that because I listen to how excited people are and how they are grateful that has reached them. I speak to young people and they say, now I could go to college. My parents could never afford it for me to go to college. Now I'm being paid for by government to go to college. All those people, remember when we had the Nyota and the president addressed all the young people across the almost 20-something counties at once. Those young people, you've touched their lives. Believe me, never mind what is in a rally. When you touch people's lives, it makes a difference. I listen to how many people say that, do you know, my father has dialysis twice a week and it's fully paid by SHA. 14,000 shillings per session. 28,000 a week. Is that person going to... not just them, their families. It makes a difference. So it's what you have, it's the work that you have done that ultimately people will think about. Forget the euphoria and everything. I've seen, I am told, sometimes I'm told that when I have I do a lot of medical camps in the countryside, in Uasin Gishu. And the last one I had, we saw 4,600 patients. Those people who were treated...
4,600?
Yes.
Okay.
Were treated that day. And remember, we had everything. They had x-rays, they had this. And others who needed surgeries and post-treatment. We have a memorandum of understanding with the Moi Teaching Referral Hospital, and they've continued to have treatment. We have a kid who had a fused... heart valves. She has been able to be treated for that. We had another young girl who was 22 who had a kidney transplant. So just remember, when you've done that, the families even of those people and the neighbors and their church, because they go to church and give the testimony or how they have had the treatment, they don't forget that. So you can't run against somebody's track record.
Actually, you can. You see, you can. Allow me to say what I'm saying. You can. your track record, the women empowerment programs you have in Turbo, Keses, all these regions, they speak volumes. Okay? You've been at it for a very long time. And people associate certain milestones in the economic changes of their lives to you. And they know. One, you are their daughter, they know what you've done, and voting for you isn't a problem, but it doesn't stop people from wanting to vie from that same position, and they haven't done a fraction of what you've done. In the case of the president, from 2022, there have been people who began a serious concerted campaign, and they've stuck to it, of delegitimizing the president from day one. And they have continued, and they have continued. So the lenses through which people see certain things has very little to do with the reality of it. It is important that these things that you know, other people know. Because if they don't, then it works against all that good. We've known of individuals who have done wonderful things, and then at the last moment, because there is what you call a wave, suddenly the person left behind, and then the people say, what on earth did we do? But they've already done it.
True. So yes, we have to do a better job of explaining to people. Like, I mean, I constantly, when I'm in Wasingishu, I tell people, if you come to Wasingishu today, the skyline has changed.
It has.
The affordable housing. There's over 2,800 units that are being constructed. There are many people who are being employed there. So even when you go there, I explain to them, they say, hii mjengo imetupatia kazi. The women at the market, they are patiently waiting. And they all know that now they're going to have a cold room. They're going to have a decent place where they are selling their vegetables, not on the road anymore. I think it's just all we need to do is just keep reminding them this is thanks to the president, thanks to Mama County, that we are able to do these things. And people do appreciate it. You know, people think Kenyans are smarter than we think. I know that in my village, just next to my house, there is a school, Plateau Primary School. It was built 60 years ago by the colonial government. It was a matope buildings.
Mud. No, we are on. Continue.
Yeah, there was matope buildings. And I remember I approached M-Pesa Foundation and I told them, I'd like you to rebuild this school for me. And they came there and they looked at it and they said, it's made of mud. We need to demolish it. So I called the community because we need to now tell them we'll have to demolish the entire school. Do you know, the parents told me, even if you want us to close the school for 1 year, we'll close it, provided you're building for us a new school.
Yeah.
And now the kids are studying in makeshift shelters.
But they're studying.
So they're going in makeshift shelters. The school is ongoing. God willing, we should be ready by October. And it will be a state-of-the-art school. It will be the best school in Wasingishu County.
Yeah.
And so people, when you interact with people, they understand. And personally, I don't do rallies, really.
Yes,
smart.
I don't attend rallies and big rallies like that. I have small town halls. I have small meetings with people.
Why did you arrive at that conclusion? What did you see and what did you understand? Because in my opinion, that is very smart thinking.
It's because one of the things I realized is that sometimes you go to a rally, people arrive, and then they talk, and then they leave. You have not listened to the people.
Yeah.
What do they want? So I like the small groupings because what happens is people tell you, ile shida tuko nayo hapa hatuna title deeds. Hii mashamba yetu has never been surveyed and subdivided. So then I tell them, okay, let me call Alice Wahome. I explain. She marks an officer to us. They come and sit with them. Surveyor anatumwa. So you're dealing with people's issues as they
as they present themselves.
One of the other things I learned, just going to schools, one of the things I realized, I used to see kids carrying jerry cans to school in the morning. So I was like, why are these people carrying this maji? Wakaniambia, shule haina maji, so the kids, each child must bring 5 liters. So I started the water tank program. Nikapatiana water tanks, I think all primary schools in Uasin Gishu County.
Wait, hii maji walikuwa wanaitoa wapi ndio wabebe na jerrycans?
They are told bora mlete kutoka nyumbani.
However you get it is not the school's problem.
So we started doing the water tank problem. Then another time I went to the school and there was this boy who greeted me and it was in the social media. I was giving him, and he called my parents geometrical sets exams na success cards. So they took a picture of the boy, but they took the back. His shorts had holes. And somebody made a joke in social media. Then I told myself, this is bad. So what I did, and I saw that boy, after he received it from me, he walked backwards.
He didn't give his back to you as he walked away.
Yes. So that's when I realized he's actually wearing tatters. So what we started to do is the school uniform program. So I send my team, they go to a school. During assembly, they pick out all the kids who are in torn clothes. Wanapimwa, tunawaletea uniform. Because I realized those kids, they need it's self-esteem. You can't have confidence even to learn when you are feeling ashamed.
You're not dressed. Yes.
So we started so what I like about meeting people in small groups, you understand their needs.
Okay. That's
so I'm answering your question.
Yeah.
I realized I'm able to work for them better when I meet them where they can speak. I had an empowerment program at Ziwa TTI, and I remember we had over 3,000 people. But I was the guest of honor and I was the MC. I went there, I sat with my people. 3 people would come and speak. They say their issues. I take the stage, I respond. Then I sit down, I take this, they again speak. So after we finish there, you'll be able to understand what the problems they have. Then I remember there was a kid, when I went to give out success cards one time, I gave the success cards, but I always write a personalized message inside. So I told one of the children, Soma. Then he couldn't read. So I asked, how can this kid be a candidate?
Naizi
Soma. Then we realized he had an eyesight problem. He couldn't read. So after that, I started the eyeglasses program. I've given out almost 20,000 reading glasses in various schools. So now we got an organization from the US that helped us. We are able to test and give them prescription glasses. Some of the people I work with under my foundation from India send us the eyeglasses. And this kid, I hear the teacher told me he can't stop reading. Because all he needed was eyeglasses. And I remember when the parents started hearing about that, when we'd come and do the testing for the kids at school, the parents wanted to come. And I told the parents, no, musomi tena, so I'm not interested in you people. Can I just deal with the kids who still need school? So sometimes just listening to people, you understand their problem. I never thought that there are kids who actually have reading problems because of not having reading glasses, because their parents don't even think, they're not blind. And then, myself, I was born with a congenital cataract when I was born on my left eye. And I remember thinking, if my parents at that time didn't know that I could have surgery, laser treatment, I had it much later. And then I realized that I gained maybe 15% less my sight. I don't have 100% sight on my one eye. But I remember thinking to myself, could you imagine how many kids? Because if it had been done when I was below 12,
you'd probably be
100%. I would have regained 100%. So after that, I started to do cataract. That's why I do cataract surgeries.
Okay.
So a lot of things is just meet people where they are.
At their point of need, yes.
Yes. And that's why listening to people makes a big difference. And I feel more fulfilled.
And you can't listen to people in a rally.
You cannot listen to first of all, you arrive.
Rally na kwanga muziki, sherehe, tibim, tialala, go home.
Yeah.
On the issue of affordable housing, I met someone 2 weekends ago, and he was telling me that he's from Embu. So he was telling me that there are houses built in Embu. Na alikuwa ananiambia hizo nyumba hawani zikiwa ipata mtu. Why? Because number 1, location. And then number 2, according to him and what he understands about the area, people don't need those houses there. What really advises whether houses should be built in Embu or Kitui or even in Nairobi? How does the government decide, let's build here?
Oh no, there's been a lot of analysis and specialist thinking to it. Mm-hmm. If you look in the next 10 years, 70% of your age will be living in urban areas. Mm-hmm. And there's no houses. There's going to be a shortage of houses. So the choice is, are you going to live in shacks? Because think of any young person now they have a room this size. It's made of mabati, matope chini, mabati juu. It's being rained on. They have no toilets, they have no water, they have no electricity. So we could end up with an entire generation living in shacks.
Okay.
So you've got to think ahead and put up those houses so people can have decent housing. That is, it's a
fundamental right.
It's a fundamental right. We cannot have our people living in shacks. My housekeeper, she says she pays 3,200 shillings for where she lives.
Okay, that is her rent.
That's her rent. Now we were able to put her under affordable housing, social housing.
Yes,
she's going to get a house that has LPG gas. It has toilet facilities, water, electricity, paka internet at 10 bob a day. And that amount she's going to be paying of 3,000 shillings, it includes insurance, which means, God forbid, if something happens to her, the loan will be paid off and her children will inherit a debt-free house. So when you think about that, and remember, in the social housing, you don't pay deposit. You just pay the monthly rent. So her life is going to change.
Okay.
Having those houses. Because remember, she's going to live in Nairobi. Even her kids are not going to go back to her village. They live in Nairobi. So there is, and I think it's important for me to say this so that young people understand. And now, even when people come and do kibarua in my shamba, the one thing I tell them, nitawalipia hiyo 500 shillings mregister kwa boma yangu. A lot of them say, but now will I really be able to afford? I told them, where are you living now? Mwingine akaniambia tunaishi hapo Rodi. Mailine pale Nairobi Eldoret. Kasema tunaishi Rodi, nalipa shilingi ngapi? 2,800. Nikaambia, si unafanya kibarua mpaka unapata hiyo 2,800. Ukichukua social housing, si utalipa hiyo 2,800. I told them you still pay the same amount. That's the difference. You're paying the same amount you're paying now. Sasa utakuwa ukihustle, ukilipa lakini nyumba ni yako. So that's what our young people need to understand. So there is social housing where there is no deposit. You just pay the monthly. Then there is affordable housing where you pay a little lower deposit. And then there is market rates. So anybody who earns 150,000 and above, you qualify for market rates. So like for me, I wouldn't qualify for the social housing. And I wouldn't qualify for affordable. But I qualify for and it's one house, one ID. Wewe uko kwa boma yangu, kwanza nikuulize hiyo swali.
Mimi siko kwa boma yangu.
What's wrong with you? Okay, we are not living here until you register. Na nakulipia hiyo 500 ya registration mimi mwenyewe.
Haya.
Na kwanza when you get 1,000 unarusha ndani.
Naweka hapo ndani. Kuna swali hapa inaulizwa na one Willy Kitala, still on housing. Another Mbuvi, kindly ask Honorable Shelay, so do those workers at affordable housing have 3 meals in a day? Why have businesses and companies shut down under KK regime? So those are 2 questions in one. Number 1, those workers working for housing, wanakulanga 3 meals in a day, or once they are paid out watajipanga vinyo watakula?
No, in fact, I've gone to the affordable housing sites in Kidiwa, I've gone to the one in Railway, and I've gone to the one in Pioneer. And you know what? It's a whole ecosystem. Wale mafundi wanafanya kazi hapo. When they come in the morning, kuna mama pika ametengeneza chai hapo. chai na chapo ama na mandazi wanakula.
Ndo maana ngwashe.
Yes, because they have that money they are earning, they are able to buy that meal.
Okay.
Then there is you find that githeri itapikwa by lunchtime. Sindio? So some of them wana jioni, they say even when I go home nitapitia hapo kwa soko, nitanunua mboga, nitanunua unga, nini watoto wangu watakula. So it has created jobs, because that's how people manage. And
yes.
I mean, and it's and the lady, in fact, in Kidiwa there was a lady. She has a lady with disability, but she was sitting there akipika. She was earning a living, na anasomesha watoto yake, amelipa nyumba. So also affordable housing is not just about housing; it's also about creating jobs. And even when we are building roads, the roads are not about just building roads. It's about creating jobs. Like you've seen in the US, when they have the economy is down, they start building roads, they do construction works. They watu wapate kazi, because the whole ecosystem, mama pika atapata something, mama mboga atapata something, kwa sababu mtu akipitia ame earn money, ananunua, etc. I was even seeing near my village there hapo Naiberi. I was driving at night and I was seeing that people are selling on the roadside. Na mpaka watu wameweka ile taa.
Yes.
Then I said, kwani watu wananunua vitu usiku? Wasema ni watu wanatoka mjengo. Wanapitia, wakitoka mjengo, they are still shopping. That's why they are opening until 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock.
Okay.
Yes.
On the second part, KK government, why have businesses and companies shut down under KK regime?
No. You know, the thing is, businesses haven't shut down. Some businesses have shut down to pave way for the new way of doing things. There are some businesses, like for example, there was a time cybers were a big thing, isn't it? But with the upcoming of Huduma centers, with the upcoming of people can get data on their phones, with the upcoming of free Wi-Fi in certain areas, those other businesses will close because there's another new way of
doing things.
So that person will probably move to do selling cell phones or selling airtime, or even the banks. Remember, banks had shrunk with the upcoming of M-Pesa. So it's just that businesses are evolving; they are not closing. Yes, and you can tell by there are certain indicators that can tell us that things are working well. For example, if you look that the shilling has been stable,
okay,
that tells you we have less imports because people are producing more in the country. If you look at the issues like what can I use as an example? If you look at even the food, edible oils, we have reduced how much edible oil we are importing because people are planting more. We have promoted coconut, palm oil, etc. So we are doing more production within the country, locally. If you look at the price of unga, from 250 in 2022, now it's 165 for 2 kilogram. Those are indicators that tell us things are working right within the economy.
Yeah.
So you can't just say because you saw your neighbor's business shut down, it has evolved. And that is what we must do. If you look at a lot of jobs, many young people have digital jobs. Those are jobs that were not there before. Yeah. I speak to young people and they tell me that they are what do you call an influencer, and I'm doing some work for Vivo. I'm doing promotions. People are selling on Instagram. People are selling on and so on. One of my closest friends owns a salon, and she said after COVID she almost shut down her business, but then suddenly her young daughter started to teach her how to put like the hairstyles, do it on social online and the promotions and so on. Now she's getting young people who are coming to get their hair done at her salon because she's changed her system of working. If she had just stuck to waiting for Gladys to arrive at the salon, she would not be working. So it's amazing what that businesses are transforming and businesses are changing. Yes.
In fact, to answer your question, Paul, one of the ways in which you can determine those numbers that people speak of,
yes,
is you go to the registrar of companies, because when you say people speak anecdotally about companies either relocating or shutting down, but it's when people ask to be struck off, meaning they have actually ceased to exist as a business entity. That's when we actually know that they have actually ceased to exist. But anecdotally, people speak of companies leaving Kenya to go, say, to Tanzania, but by the same token, they speak of people relocating from Tanzania to come and work in Kenya.
Yes.
And the same happens with Uganda, and the same happens with Somalia. So again, to answer that question, you actually need concrete data. This isn't one of those things we speak of where we generalize. You know how we say Kenyans have said, and Kenyans are thinking. This one, you actually need concrete evidence to say these business categories were functioning and now they have ceased to function, or they've reduced the number of people who are working. Information of those details exist. Now it's a question of presenting them before you actually say this is what definitively has happened. Because I could argue, and statistically I could tell you, the number of parties who are interested in doing in Kenya has not decreased since this particular government of Ruto's. They've actually increased. Yes. So again.
Okay.
Yeah, and you know, and that's what I'm saying. You've got to think of, if you think things have changed significantly. I remember when I finished university, you could not even get a credit card from the bank. The banks looked down upon us, and you needed to have a minimum of 10,000 to have a bank account. Meaning, who has 10,000 to just sit in there?
And what was your salary at that time?
3,000 shillings.
That's okay.
So now you're asking yourself, where do I have 10,000 to keep? And then I remember even banks started downscaling. They remember Barclays closed several branches.
They closed very many branches. Standard did the same.
Everything. Then come in James Mwangi. James Mwangi decided he's going to open in what is it called? Kangemi. Small branches. Very place. Then I remember when I opened a bank account in Equity, it was because at that time I had harvested maize and we were taking it to cereals. So when I go to cereals, you're queuing to deliver the maize. Lori yako ni number 20 na ni lori umekodesha. You understand? So now you're waiting.
Na unalipa per day.
And you're paying the driver and you're feeding them. Then I asked, and then the money, once you deliver the maize after several days, you are going to be paid maybe in 3 months' time. Then I saw a tent, Equity. So I asked, what is it happening? They said that, Equity, we can remember the service they are providing. You open an account with Equity, you sign the document saying that the money, italipwa kwa your account. They give you the money up front. So all the farmers opened bank accounts with Equity. Yes, and today Equity and Cooperative are the ones who fund farmers.
Very true.
They fund, and the collateral is the crop. Yeah. So you see, businesses evolve. So the fact that Kina Standard Chartered were shutting down branches and all didn't mean, it just means it paved way for a new system to get Equity na Cooperative. And then now they started running after them, trying to open in Kangemi. Even them, they started running to all sorts of places. Kawangware, they never wanted to deal with us. Today the banks are begging you to take a credit card. Those days you did not qualify to have a credit card because you didn't have 10,000 sitting.
Hiyo 10,000 ilikuanga withdrawable ukifunga account ama hiyo ni yao.
You can get it back.
You could get it back. It was a minimum.
It was minimum balance. So if you don't have 10,000, so then when Equity came in, they realized that 60% of Kenyans were unbanked. 60% of Kenyans. It got to a point where Central Bank could not make any decision without talking to Equity, because Equity had taken the whole population. Ulikuwa napata mama mboga na viazi yake hapo ako kwa Equity anangojea kufanya banking. Then came in M-Pesa. Now with M-Pesa, again, it's revolutionized. Who needs a bank account anymore? You have M-Shwari for your savings. Ya sijui nini, pochi, all those things. So businesses evolve. They don't die.
Okay. Louise is saying, Mbuvi, ask her to pay for me since she's so generous today.
Nimlipia atakutumia saizi nipatie. Namlipia 500 ya boma yangu.
I think niyo boma yangu.
Register and send us will pay by M-Pesa now.
All right.
Register na boma yangu alafu utumie Mbuvi.
Luis, you can do that. Then send it to our WhatsApp. By the way, let me just give you that number. That WhatsApp number yetu inakuanga. Come on.
And that's the lucky guy. Mtu mwingine asiitishe tena.
Usijali wataitisha tu.
Luisa Beangukia 0116-928-683. All right, that is 0116-928-683. Once you register, send those details there.
Send a screenshot. Tunalipa.
Tunapatia Mhesh anacheza kama yeye. All right, we have come to the end of the show, Mheshimiwa. So maybe parting shot that you can give to the audience today.
What I want to tell the audience is that Kenya is on the right trajectory for economic transformation. I want them to believe in the government, believe in what is being done. And remember, what is being built now in Kenya by President Ruto is not, the Ruto administration is not thinking about just now. It's a vision. So people have to see the vision, because you have to tell yourself, if people can be educated, if we can have technical skills, because the biggest problem we started doing is everybody studying Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of that. Then when we want to build the SGR, we start importing welders from China. Now we are saying we want skilled labor, because you cannot industrialize as a country without skilled labor. And that's where the world is going. That's hence the reason why there's a big effort on TVETs. We are also think of people being self-employed. That's why there's a Nyota programs and all these funds that are being able to give people, young people, to have a to kickstart their startups and their businesses. The reason why there's building of the digital economy is and digital superhighway is because we know the current jobs that are there are digital jobs, and we need them to have access to the internet to be able to do that. So all these are very deliberate steps to ensure that we can push Kenya forward, because the future is with the young people. And also when you see, when you hear that there is a fertilizer subsidy, some people think, it's just for farmers, it's for old people who are farmers. But really, when you think about it, it brings the price of unga down. We have our students who are in colleges and so on, they're the ones who buy that unga. So if we can be able to subsidize production, then it brings the price of normal commodities down, and then it enables our young people to be able to live well. When we talk about promoting tea and coffee, some people think it's just for the coffee and tea farmers. No, it's what we are doing is stabilizing the Kenya shilling, because the more exports we have, then we earn forex, and then we are able to keep the shilling stable. So sometimes people don't see what is the long game. People see the short game and don't understand, but everything is building up. Is building up towards that. And also the one thing I plead about is that let's make sure that we love our country. Let's be patriotic, because nobody's going to love our country. I was in Lilongwe, and I've never seen so many mud thatched houses in a long time. I remember seeing them as a child. And so you couldn't get basic commodities. You can't get Panadol, And so let's love our country. Kenya is on the rise, and we must support our country and love our country and speak well of our country.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. Are you running for re-election, by the way?
Yes, I am.
Woman rep, eh?
Yes.
All right. We wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Na kama kawaida bado tuko na muda 1 year to go. Karibu tena na tena.
Nitakuja tena. Anytime.
Karibu
Asante sana.
Acha niangalia kama Luis hajatuma bado.
Imeenda.
Nakuachia wewe mwenyewe utamtumia.
Luis, cheza kama wewe, harakisha. Before ni
just go to www.bomayangu.go.ke. Yes.
All right.
Thank you.
Folks, see you tomorrow morning bright and early at exactly 6 a.m.
Radio Generation, the home of urban soul. This is the Radio Generation News.